horrifying monster chases you for the rest of the demo. So it's nothing new content-wise, but just playing it on Switch 2 was the new thing, and great, fantastic version of this game. Awesome that it's going to be there on launch, and this game runs at 60 FPS on Switch 2, which nuts. I didn't expect. I thought it would be 30 for sure, like Final Fantasy VII Remake just was on Switch 2. Also a great port, but that's just what I was expecting. But like playing it, I think the biggest compliment that I can give Requiem on Switch 2 is that I was so terrified being chased by this monster that I no longer cared what version I was playing. When you go to one of these events, you're like, you have such a critical eye of this Switch 2 thing. We're not used to these big games being on Nintendo platforms yet. So you're like, oh, the lighting on the wall doesn't look probably as good as it does on PS5, and all these things that if you're just playing this game at home, you wouldn't think about. But the second that monster like sprints out at you and then is just following you for the rest of the demo, I'm not worried about lighting, textures, or frame rate or anything because it looks so good. I'm immersed in this world, and it doesn't matter anymore. Like, this is a totally great way to play this game.
I'm scared.
See, this is like, on a personal level, this is, I don't know what to do with this information because I have a PS5, I've got a Series X, I've got a gaming PC. Resident Evil 7 and Resident Evil 8 are two of the best looking visually games ever made, but the portability on Switch 2 is one of those things where I'm like, the slight, the trade-off in textures and stuff like that versus the fact that I can bring this thing anywhere. That's it. Oh man, I might have to double dip.
Like for me personally, I'm still gonna play this on PlayStation 5. Like I think if you need the portability, or if you don't have another place to play it, absolutely don't hesitate. Like, it's going to be great on Switch 2. But if you still have a PS5, like, yeah, Resident Evil games are always visual showcases. That's still going to be the better place to play it.
So slightly, or I'll say significantly less exciting for me is that you got to play it with the new Switch 2 Pro controller that has a Resident Evil newspaper clipping on it. Of all of the iconic things from the history of that franchise, that's where they went. Which I was a little like, okay, I'm glad I don't collect Pro controllers, but what was it like seeing that in person?
Yeah, it's not a great controller. I honestly, like, I was playing in a very dimly lit room. They're trying to set the vibe for just the horror atmosphere, and I'm in, like, this big armchair, and the Capcom rep has to tell me, oh, by the way, that's the Resident Evil Pro controller, because it looks the same. Like, you don't even notice if it's a little bit dark in there. And like, the Switch 2 logo is covering the Resident Evil logo, so it's like Resident Switch 2 Evil. It's a bizarre controller, but yeah, I did play with it. And if you're watching when the jump scare happens in this footage with my controller kind of in the shot, you can, like, see that I totally jumped at the jump scare, because I'm not that good with horror games. Like, I love Resident Evil, but I kind of have to push myself through them, which is why I'm excited that this has the first and the third person option, because first person horror is a little much for me, but third person can totally do it. And it's cool because Grace, like, trips and stumbles over herself when she's running from the monster in third person, because she's also really terrified and hasn't done this before, like Leon, who's done it a million times at this point.
Right. Are you sure you didn't just see, like, the price tag on the Switch 2 Pro controller and jump?
Yeah, that's what made me jump. Yeah, the $100.
No, I'm really excited to see how the Leon stuff. I mean, period, because I've played the Grace demo at Gamescom last year, and it's really cool. But once I found out Leon's in there, I'm an old school Resident Evil 4 guy, which honestly makes me miss the chainsaw controller. I hope they get to make something like that again someday. Yeah. So yeah, I'm excited to see how this game scales, because obviously we've seen smaller environments like the small hallways and corridors that you've been in, and I'm wondering how some of the larger, the Capcom has stated this is not an open world game, but it does seem like it's going to have some big sort of areas. I know Village did. It had a lot of big sort of fields leading into castles and all this other stuff. So yeah, I'm fascinated to see how Switch 2 holds up when it comes to the bigger set pieces, the more action-oriented gameplay that we're going to see from Leon, and just some of the larger environments.
I agree. That is the big question, because like I said, love what I've seen so far on Switch 2, but this is very dark, very narrow hallways, no weapons, no combat. She just has some glass bottles and a lighter. Like, there's no crazy, I'm not Leon with a chainsaw killing a bunch of zombies. I'm just tiptoeing through these places being chased by exactly one enemy.
Yep.
I hope it will hold up. I think it will. I mean, I think it's going to. It may not maintain that rock-solid 60 the whole way on Switch 2, but I think it's going to be a really solid port.
Yeah, Capcom are technical geniuses, and the engine they've been running with the last few years, I feel like they wouldn't have even bothered porting this if it was going to run into issues like that, right? Yeah. Lastly, this game comes out the same day as all of the other versions, but it's also launching with some bundle deal where you can get 7, 8, and Requiem. all at the same time.
Yeah, which is really great. Like there's cloud versions of these games on Switch 1, but that's not the best way. So getting real versions is really cool.
Yeah, I don't know. So I might double, triple dip on the old ones just to get more Resident Evil on the go.
You just gonna stay here when this is all done? What do you want?
Now, you also played another giant, highly anticipated Capcom game, Pragmata, which this was the one I think I was a little more surprised about it coming to Switch 2, but you've played it. It exists. It's real.
Yeah, and it's also really, really good. It is not quite as pretty as Resident Evil is, and I think that is because of exactly what we were talking about. It takes place in this very, very bright, white, illuminated lunar research station, and there's bigger environments, and there's just kind of more lighting to expose some of the rougher edges, but that's me being pretty critical. It's still totally playable, looks really, really good, and runs really nice. It's also targeting 60, doesn't hit that quite as consistently as Resident Evil. This is a really cool version of this game, and this game is just really cool, Brian. I love the combat in this. You're playing as this soldier with this android Diana on his back, and Diana targets these androids that you're fighting and has to hack them, and you're like doing this little quick time event mini game where you're using the face buttons to move a cursor from the start to the goal, and you're moving through like blue squares that increase the damage, and you're avoiding red squares which cancel your damage, and you're doing that while you're aiming and shooting and strafing as Hugh at the enemy. So it's really kind of this left brain, right brain thing, which is really fun to do at the same time. And then there's these little modifiers you can pick up and add to your hack board where it's like, oh, if you go through this yellow square, you'll hack all 3 enemies at a time instead of just the one. And I'm excited to see how they're kind of just going to keep pushing that forward as we play this game, because it's a really cool concept.
And you played what's called the Sketchbook demo, right?
Yes, that's on PC now also, and coming to consoles, including Switch 2 at a later time, but currently it's only on PC.
Is this another situation where you're like, you're going to play this game, you'll probably play it on other consoles, but if you only had a Switch 2, you would feel confident being like, yeah, I think this is going to be a good place to play it?
Yeah, feel the exact same way. I think this is really solid, really competent, not the prettiest, a little rougher than Resident Evil was, but still, like if you only got a Switch 2, absolutely look into this when it comes out, because it was totally playable and solid, and this is a game where like responsiveness is really important, because you're doing that really quick hacking where it's like a rhythm game. You're pressing those buttons really, really fast, and the Switch 2 totally kept up with all of it, which it's just crazy to say. Like these brand new AAA games that are on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series are making it to Switch 2, and that's really great to see, because I think, Brian, we both thought that it was going to be a lot of PS4 ports,
yes,
which we're seeing, and those look really good too, but to see new games come out, like we're getting Indiana Jones this year also, it's really, really solid so far.
Yeah, just last year we got Chronos, The New Dawn, we got Star Wars Outlaws, Assassin's Creed Shadows, a bunch of games where I was like, I don't think, before the Switch 2 came out and we hadn't like truly benchmarked it yet, I didn't expect that, and so yeah, makes me happy. Makes me really happy that this is happening. One exclusive thing that this game does have that the other ones will never get is an amiibo, which you got to see with your own eyes. Do you want it? I mean, you collect amiibos, right?
I'm getting out on amiibo. I'm not all in like I used to be anymore. There's so many. They just keep going. I still get my favorites, but there's just too many to keep up with now. And yeah, I saw the Pragmata one, which is Diana. I'm not sure what it does in-game yet, but that's going to have an amiibo. Resident Evil has a Grace amiibo and hopefully a Leon amiibo as well. We don't know exactly yet. And then another Capcom game, Monster Hunter Stories 3, is getting amiibo also. So Capcom is still all in on amiibo on Switch 2.
Right, and they just did a bunch for Street Fighter as well. So yeah, they're probably single-handedly responsible for why you stop collecting every single amiibo.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's Pragmata. Is that launching the same day as the other versions?
It is, yeah. It's coming out in April on Switch 2 at the same time as everywhere else.
Awesome. So yeah, if you have a Switch 2, you have 2 awesome, exciting new Capcom games coming your way. Or if you like Resident Evil, you have 3 of them, and you haven't somehow played Resident Evil 7 and Village. Village is like legit one of my favorite games of all time. So that one I'm definitely buying again. But yeah, Logan, thank you so much for catching us up on these awesome Switch 2 games coming soon. Find out more. We'll have reviews for these games up in a couple of weeks when they're available to the public, and plenty more hands-on impressions on our weekly Nintendo show, Nintendo Voice Chat, the only place where you can get the thing, as they say. Logan, I'll talk to you soon, and thanks for telling me all about Switch 2.
Yeah, thanks, Brian. But we're going to start with first impressions of Animal Crossing New Horizons on Nintendo Switch 2. The version 3.0 update is out now on Switch, as well as the Nintendo Switch 2 edition, which adds mouse controls, higher resolution, some other bells and whistles, and like a megaphone, literally, is added. And Reb, I know you've played it so far. What do you think?
Okay, so in our planning meeting on Monday, I told you I wasn't super high on it.
on the idea of it, because it actually like dropped on Tuesday. I'm kind of into it a little bit. I still think it's true. I've said this on previous episodes, like after it was announced, that I think the content here is not revolutionary. Like, I don't think this is going to result in a massive resurgence of everybody coming back to this game and a renewal of every Animal Crossing fun thing that was going on in 2020. Like, I don't think that's happening. I'm kind of having fun. Like, this was a nice excuse to come back. So like it's we've got this hotel on the island now. I can go over there. I can decorate some rooms. It brings some more villagers to my island that have new dialogue that I haven't seen yet. Some of them are kind of cute and they wander around and they're really nice. It's got a lot of furniture. The thing that sort of turned me around on it was seeing someone made a Reddit post with like just a catalog of every single new furniture item. And it's a lot. Yeah. It's quite extensive. Okay. Yeah. And I was surprised at how much there was. And seeing and not just how much, but like seeing some of it, I was like, oh, that's actually really nice. Like, I would redesign a room around that. And I think that was kind of part of my cynicism about it is my island's done. Like, I played 500 hours of this. My island is the way I want it. I don't need to change anything. My house is the way I want it. I have the villagers that I want. Like, I don't need to do anything else here. But then seeing there was new stuff, like, oh, I could mess around with that. But in order to get that, I probably need to play for like several days in a row. And then I started getting up early and, going around and catching some snowflakes and going over to the hotel and decorating a room every day. And I don't know. I'm kind of getting into it. Some of this stuff I don't care about. Like, it's got mouse controls on the Switch too now. I don't care. I'm not going to play with that. I think some people who are really savvy at decorating probably will, but like, or like the patterns. Yeah. Yeah. Really like good. That. I'm not artistic in that way. That's fine. I was good with the way it was before. I'm happy it exists for people. I think like the 12 people on an island at a time thing is appealing to me in theory, but I don't know that I have 11 friends who are all going back to Animal Crossing who would be into this. So like I don't know if we're going to get into that. It looks nicer. Shoot, what else? I haven't tried the amiibo yet. I have. I've welcomed some Zelda villagers to my town, and the Zelda items that you unlock in the catalog are very cool that you get. Okay. And it goes all the way up through Echoes of Wisdom. There is Tri from Echoes of Wisdom. There's the kind of Zonai activation hand device from Tears of the Kingdom that you scan at every shrine. There is a Decayed Guardian from Breath of the Wild. So they've really brought in kind of the new generation of Zelda stuff into here, and you unlock that through the hotel. That, by far, my biggest complaint of New Horizons was it was missing Nintendo items. They added some Mario stuff on a Mario Day at one point, but it still just wasn't that much. But now you have Mario, you have Zelda, you have Splatoon, and you have the classic Nintendo consoles, which I'm going to complain about in a little bit. But I think it's cool they're here. So there is a lot of awesome Nintendo stuff now, which is my favorite edition by far. You have to do quite a bit to unlock those, though, right? You do, yeah. Well, for the Zelda and Splatoon items, you just have to scan an amiibo of the related series, and I have 30 of each behind me on that shelf, so that was very easy. But for the classic Nintendo systems, you have to build a ton of all the hotel rooms and then even have to redesign some of them. So if you don't time travel, which I'll admit, I time traveled for the first time in my Animal Crossing life. I've never done it in any game, but just to kind of see all the stuff in this update, I did do it this time just to get to all the items. And it takes, I don't know, probably 2 weeks of work on the hotel to get to the Nintendo items in real time. So it is a bit of legwork. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. What I'm realizing with the DLC, the Happy Home DLC, and then this update, and then some of the others, like just the stuff they've added, is the long game of this specific Animal Crossing of New Horizons is decorating. Like it is for people who like decorating. The Dream Islands are for people who like decorating. All the new all the pattern stuff is for people with like mouse controls is for people who like decorating. All this new furniture, decorating. Like the hotel rooms, the stuff in Happy Home, like it's all for decorating. And I enjoy that aspect of Animal Crossing, but it is not the primary reason I come to Animal Crossing. I primarily come to Animal Crossing because I think it's fun and weird. And I love all the weird little guys running around, and I want to talk to them every day. And I want to see what silly little things they're doing on my island. Like that's kind of why I play. And so I think the one thing this is sort of missing for me maybe is like new reasons to check in on my villagers, I guess. Like I wish that like they're all still saying the same stuff they said 4 years ago. And I love them. They're very sweet. But we have played
pretending to be pop stars so many times. Like,
yeah.
we don't.
Which is
need
another
to do it
weakness of New Horizons, is that it did not really focus on the villager stuff as much as the prior ones did, and they've never really updated more in.
I disagree. I think one of the things I loved about New Horizons is that there were so many little behaviors that villagers could do. And so, you know, I put 500 hours into it. And I remember a very specific moment, like 400 hours in, where I saw multiple villagers standing in the town square around a barbecue. And I had never seen them do that before in like 400 hours. And there's just all these little tiny behaviors they can get up to. They can read books. They can catch fish. They can, do the little Naruto run around for some reason. There's all sorts of things they can do. And they all have like little dialogues to sort of reflect all the little things that they can do. And I always thought that was really nice. I thought that the dialogue was varied. I think one of the issues I had and people had is in expanding the amount of people you could have who could have houses on your island. They didn't expand the villager personality types to match. Yeah. So if you have every single slot on your island filled, you inevitably have a couple duplicates of villager personality types, and therefore you have two people who are reciting the same dialogue to you every day. That's where I think it got repetitive for people. And as you point out, Logan, that has not changed. Like, 6 years now, almost 6 years, and no changes whatsoever there. So that's a little bit of a bummer to me, but I am enjoying just taking it slow, coming back once a day, making a room in the hotel, walking around talking to everybody, catching a couple snowflakes and making a couple snow items that I still don't have yet, wishing it was spring because winter's kind of a lame season at this point. And yeah, it's just nice to come back, but I don't think this is going to result in an Animal Crossing renaissance.
Reb, it was 75 degrees here in real temperature yesterday. So yes, we're waiting for spring too, but I don't know. I think there's icicles on your wall behind you. I actually never transferred my town to Switch 2. So
Why
that
not?
was because at the time I thought this game was done, and I'm like you, I decorated all my rooms and I felt closure. I'm like, this is what I wanted. This is done. I would have anxiety over breaking down one of the rooms and like completely redoing it and having to collect new items and things. So I sort of compartmentalized it as it's done. I'm walking away from it. I'm going to leave it on an old Switch. So now, of course, I have FOMO because this dropped last night, right? For us heathens. Yeah. And now I'm really tempted, but I'm thinking maybe I'll just start over. I don't know.
Don't do it.
I don't know this. I don't know if you know this, but I have a fair amount of Zelda amiibo, so I could I could scan those.
I feel like you're gonna regret it if you start over.
Really?
Here because it takes time.
Okay.
It gates you and it takes time to build up. And I don't know what. I'm sure our guides people are working very hard on figuring this out right now, but I don't know. I don't think we know exactly just yet, or just maybe we do by the time this podcast goes up, how long it takes to actually unlock the new features. Like we know, like I have 500 hours on my island and it's all available to me right when I sign in the first time, but a brand new island, I don't know how long it'll take you to unlock the hotel. And you start with nothing in that game.
All right, then I have to look through some old pictures. Yeah. I have to look through some old pictures of me on NVC to see which version of a Switch I was using as my main, because I forget. And I have to find it and transfer my island using the transfer tool.
How many switches do you have that is faster to do that as opposed to just checking all your switches?
It's probably 8 switches.
Yeah, I would just check them all. You got to find it. What's your town called? Do you remember what you named it?
No, probably like something like Hyrule.
Yeah, I had Termina in New Leaf for sure.
It's usually it's usually a pun. I actually don't remember, man. I don't even remember what my rooms look like, but it was spectacular.
You see, it's gonna be new. It's gonna be a new horizon for you, Pear. Even if you go back to your old town,
it's gonna have cockroaches in it.
Yes, it will, and they're very easy and quick to stop out.
Now you can pay Resetti to eliminate the cockroaches for you as part of his island cleanup fee, which is a new feature in 3.0. Okay. I'm very of two minds of this. I think that version 3 and the Switch 2 edition, this is an undeniably better game. I think they've made some really cool changes to New Horizons that I love this game, so when I criticize a lot about it, but it's very minor things I criticize. I think that New Horizons struggled a little bit under the weight of all of the new kind of survival crafting things it was trying to introduce. Like, crafting was so dang slow in New Horizons for how much they wanted you to do it. Now there's both crafting.
They
finally fixed it. You can craft up to 10 things at once now. You can craft straight out of your storage now, so you don't need to go into your storage, pull out all your raw materials, then go to a crafting table and then do it. Like they've made a ton of little changes that if you are either picking up New Horizons for the first time, or you were someone who never put it down and just this is still a part of your gaming routine. You don't play many games, and this is kind of your game. This is huge. And the one thing you really liked, Reb, was they added kind of this grid-based movement, which I know you really liked.
Yeah, I enjoyed that just because it was silly. It's really, so they have a thing now where if you push the L button, you'll do a little hop. And if you hold it down, you can move. You can then use the stick to move in any of the cardinal directions, and you'll move in a very precise way. So you'll move like exactly one, I guess, like square or whatever to the left, right, forward or back. That is fantastic for a lot. Again, that's very much a designer sort of thing. Like it allows you to get very precise placement of furniture if you're trying to put something in an exact spot but can't quite get the right angle. It's really good for other things. Like I saw someone in our Wikis Discord talking about using it to get exactly in the right spot behind a rock so you can hit it with your shovel without sliding all over the place. I've seen a couple other uses for it that are really neat. I just think it's funny because it looks funny. And I think it's hilarious that they added a jump button to Animal Crossing.
It's a hop, right? It's a hop.
It's a jump. They added jumping, strafing, and backsliding, which, like, I don't know. When are we getting our air dash?
That's right.
After they added sitting at the start of this one, which was a big deal too.
I remember how crazy it was when we all looked and we saw that you could, the one trailer, there was a character sitting on the ground.
Yeah.
Like, that's huge. People everyone got excited because your characters had kneecaps. Like that's what people love about Animal Crossing. I'm the strafing.
I'm so curious about like how whether people are going back and whether this is a success or not, just because this was the pandemic game and like we were excited about doing these sort of mundane things because we couldn't do them in real life, right? Like in many ways, that really heightened the experience for this game. Like we were getting together and going like, oh my God, it's a friend I haven't seen in person in weeks. And like you're doing simple things like sitting on the ground and being really happy with it. So I'm super curious. Obviously the game is good. I had a ton of time. I played north of 100 hours in it as well. So, but now I have to find that Switch.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, I like Reb said too, I don't think this is going to bring back people in droves. I think that this is for people who they love this game. They have 1,000 hours in it. They play it every day. These changes are enormous. They're life-changing for these players that you can now decorate on a grid and bulk craft and do all these things. But me, who played my 120 hours mostly concentrated in the first 2 months of its release and then just slowly trailed off, I find Animal Crossing a very hard game to go back to. I think like you binge it at the start, you do everything you can, and then slowly there's less and less you can do each day, and then it becomes, I'm going to turn it on, I'm going to get my money rock, I'm going to check my mail, I'm going to check the turnip prices, I'm going to go to the store, I'm going to put it down until tomorrow. And I find it really hard to get back into that routine once you're done, because it's like, yeah, I'm done. My island is where I want it. I'm happy. I don't see a reason to go back to this. I don't see a reason to start over. So I don't really know how successful this is going to be outside of the extremes of I've never played this game and this is the definitive version of it and this is the only game I play.
Yeah, I'm a conquest gamer, so I want like the sort of like pay off your house and add parts to your house is sort of the driving force, and then being able to like then I feel I have to fill every room and make every room look functional and right for my home, and then once that's done, the air is sort of out for me as well. Like
I found that this update came in a good time for me personally because it's the new year. And so, you know, in the new year, you're usually trying out new routines. You're trying to get back into whatever it is that was good for you. So I've been getting up at the same time every day, a little bit earlier than I had been at the end of last year. I've been, getting up, working out, taking a shower, eating some breakfast. And my morning routine is, I found that it's allowing me about 30 to 40 minutes of time between all of that and when I have to start work. And this has been a really perfect thing to just slot in there. Just like slide into Animal Crossing for like 20, 30 minutes, do all the things Logan just listed, maybe check out the new hotel, and then call it good. My prediction is that even if people do come back to this game, we're in mid-January right now. By the time Zipper T Bunny shows up, it's all over. People are gonna be out skis when they see that guy. I hate Easter in Animal Crossing.
Yeah, I remember how much people hated that the first year around.
Egg Day, Bunny Day was one of those.
Bunny Day sounds right.
Yeah, you can tell how little I care for this holiday because every time you dig something up, it's a gosh dang egg, and I've already made all the egg furniture, and I don't need any more gosh dang eggs, and that rabbit is creepy.
Yeah. It's like, is it an animal in a rabbit suit, or is that actually him?
It's unclear. However, he does have a zipper on his back, and his name is Zipper T Bunny. And if they discovered this thing where when, he's sitting there going like this or whatever, if you walk far away from him, he stops doing his little dance. And if you start to like creep back towards him, you'll see he's just kind of like slumped over. But if he sees you coming and he sees you looking at his back, he'll suddenly turn around and be like,
oh man! So there's a dark story, right?
Yeah.
Like he's goofy and he got fired from Disneyland, and
now he's here.
Just a man in a suit. It's just a man in a suit.
But it's an island populated mostly by animals. Like, you're the only human. So is he a rabbit in a rabbit suit? Is he the only other human? Like, is he a different animal in a rabbit suit?
I don't know. Some cases like Jack the Ripper were never solved. So who's to say?
Is the zipper part of his physiology?
Mm-hmm. Hopefully not.
I'm gonna go with no. I'm gonna go with probably not.
Look, I'm just gonna throw this out there. There is another character, one of the villagers in Animal Crossing, who looks like an inflatable, and they have like a little, the little tab that you use to like blow up an inflatable. They have one of those on their body, and so.
Oh, really?
What is this?
There's also a mouse made of cheese, right? There's
like a hollow coconut rabbit too. Like there's some questionable villagers. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I want to talk about the retro consoles a little bit because I teased that earlier. You can get a few of them. You can get a Game Boy, an NES, a Super NES, American or European versions, and like a Famicom disc system. And that's so cool. That's back. Retro games were in the original Animal Crossing. You could get a ton of NES games and play them in your house. And they try to bring that back here for the first time since that one. But it's really sadly limited because you can only play one game per console, and that game is preset. It is on the NES. You are playing Ice Climber, which is not a good game. There's Clue Land. There's Dr. Mario on Game Boy, which is a great game. There's F-Zero on one of the Super Nintendos, which is great. But they also require you to have a Switch Online membership to access this. So it is like you already have access to the entire library of Game Boy games, but you can only play one of them here. It's like, I wish they had gone one of the other ways. Either no Switch Online required, everyone can play this tiny selection of games, or Switch Online, but this just acts as a portal to that app. That'd be so much cooler, but it's just like I'm not as excited about getting the Famicom to play Clue Land.
So like I would even be behind a situation where you have to buy the console and then you have to buy it, like in Animal Crossing, a cartridge. And you buy the cartridge you want, and then you put the cartridge in, and then that's the game that plays each time. Like that, I think would even be fine and could even be fun, especially if they gated finding the cartridges behind some sort of fun activity. But that sucks. I didn't realize.
Well, in the original, you had multiple versions of the NES, right? Like you had multiples.
Yeah, every NES played one game.
You would collect them. If you guys remember Mystical Ninja Goemon, the first Super NES game, actually had a custom version of Gradius in it. So there's like one house you go into, you can play Gradius, which is also a Konami game, but it was a custom version just made for inside Goemon. Like that sort of thing would be really cool if they did sort of, maybe a changed version or one level version of one of those games.
Logan, just to confirm, did you test this by buying like two of the same console? It always plays the same game every time.
Yeah, it's the same game. Yeah, it is the one game. They say, maybe I'll play Ice Climber.
This is such a perfect example of Nintendo like doing something and we're all like, and then the actual in practice thing is like, oh, you didn't understand this at all. Like they do this all the dang time, especially when it comes to like online related things.
Ice Climber is so random too. It's like when you think of NES, you think of Ice Climber.
Yeah, Ice Climber. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the most renowned NES game, of course.
Yeah. At least they give F-Zero, which is great. That's a great Super Nintendo game. They do give F-Zero. But all that being said, this update is not going to draw me back in at all. I think it's really smart timing. And we've talked about this a little bit on the show. This is a huge year on Switch and Switch 2 for this type of gamer. You've got on Switch 2 Pokemon Pokopia coming out in 2 months, which is right before Bunny Day that Reb said everyone's going to be done with this by. And then that game's out on Switch 2. And then on Switch 1, sometime in the spring, we have Tomodachi Life, Living the Dream, which may, to the standard Nintendo listener, not sound like a big deal. That was almost a top 10 best-selling 3DS game. That was huge on 3DS. It sold 7 million copies on a system with a lower install base than Switch 1. Like, if people are logging back onto Animal Crossing and they have that news feed on the left of their Switch that
targets these games at them, those games are going to be boosted by this. So I think it is really good timing to draw in the casual audience, draw in the people that have a Switch Lite with only Animal Crossing on their home screen and show, hey, we're making these other games that are a lot like this later this year.
Yeah, I agree. I always thought that Animal Crossing would have been the perfect choice for the sort of game as service that is the foundation for Nintendo's subscription network, right? Like if you subscribe to Nintendo's plan, you get Animal Crossing, and Animal Crossing is your new town square within the Switch where you celebrate anniversaries. When it's the anniversary of Metroid, you get Metroid items, right? Like they did this with the 99 series really effectively. Like I've always thought Animal Crossing would be the perfect evolution of the Wii U town square to become that celebration. But obviously, you know, they feel like maybe it's a little bit too big to give away for free as part of the subscription plan.
Well, I'm really surprised that they didn't do it because they were. I'm going to get some facts like slightly wrong here, but I'm doing my best from memory because I didn't prep for this. They basically did what you're describing with New Leaf for years. New Leaf, Animal Crossing New Leaf on 3DS?
On my Nintendo 3DS,
yeah. You say it every episode. Because New Leaf had support for so long. Like, there was a period of time where it wasn't huge support, but they were adding new furniture items like every single month. For like years, like going on years. When they had that camping whatever surprise update to New Leaf, like that was a big deal, but they had been consistently supporting that game up to that point. And I remember looking at that and thinking, oh, that's like a template for what the next Animal Crossing could be. Like maybe it's not just new furniture items every so often. Maybe it's new festivals, new events, new people coming through your town square, like whatever. Like that would make perfect sense to me. And it's weird that they went just like in the totally opposite direction. You know what irritated me? So I started on every New Year's, we have a big New Year's Eve party at my house, and instead of watching the ball drop in New York or whatever, we turn on Animal Crossing. We watch Animal Crossing's countdown. And so I thought, okay, perfect. We're having an update coming in mid-January, so I'll start up my town again right around New Year's. I'll get it ready for the New Year's party, and then I'll play every day up after that. So that's what I did. And I was decorating for New Year's. And in 2021, I guess 2020 to 2021, and then 2021 to 2022, they gave out New Year's items through, I think it was Nook Shopping or maybe Nook Miles, whatever it was. There was this big balloon arch that had the new year.
I remember,
2021 and 2022. They didn't do any after 2022. So I have in my inventory a 2021 and a 2022 balloon arch, but there aren't any for any of the other years. And just palette swap it and put another number on the end, guys. Like, give me a 2026 balloon arch, man. What are you doing? I'm so irritated that we didn't get that.
They were too busy going out and drinking in the real world for New Year's.
I just want a balloon arch.
All right, Nintendo, listen. Get Reb the balloon arch.
Get it
for 2027. Yeah, they're updating this game again. It's on Switch too, so maybe they'll do it for you this time.
I will have this open again for the new year.
That's a great idea. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, instead of watching a ball drop that already dropped 3 hours ago on the East Coast, at least for me over here on the West Coast. Yeah,
it's a great way to do it.
Well, that's Animal Crossing, New Horizons, and Nintendo Switch 2 Edition. That is amazing on the B-roll, Tayo. That's fantastic. No 2023 balloon arch, maybe 2027. Cool. Well, we'll talk more about Animal Crossing maybe as more people are playing it over the next week. But for now, I want to let you know that on next week's episode, we're celebrating 20 years of Nintendo Voice Chat. Can you believe it? And we need your help. If you have a favorite memory from the show or any other thoughts to share, send an email. 20 years since the first iteration of NVC started. We'll talk about it next week. I'm keeping it.
Not be right.
Pear's shaking his head at me. I'm keeping it simple for this housekeeping, and we'll talk about it next week. Send an email, nvc@ign.com, and we'll read a few of our favorites on next week's show. And you don't have to have been listening the whole time. If you've been listening for 20 days, you can send in an email to nvc@ign.com. Anything is great, and we really appreciate it. Thanks for watching this clip from Nintendo Voice Chat. Be sure to catch the full episode over at youtube.com/IGN Games. New episodes of NVC drop every Friday on IGN Games, IGN.com, and your favorite podcast platforms. We appreciate you tuning in, and don't forget, NVC is the only place you can get the thing.
I give you my blood. I give you my life. Turn, O wheel, and transport him to a night of moonlight, to humanity's very dusk. Close your eyes and contemplate now the moon, as befits the soon to depart.
I pray that you are able, carrier of blood.
Will flow for one, and one alone.
Hey, what's up? It's Brian and Logan here from IGN and your weekly favorite Nintendo show, Nintendo Voice Chat. And Logan, you just went to a preview event for Mario Tennis Fever. You have to tell me all about it.
Yeah, Mario Tennis Fever is coming to Switch 2 next week. It's really soon, and I got to play a few singles matches, a few doubles matches, and the big thing with this one is the Fever rackets. And those are really cool. There's 30 different rackets to choose from, and they each have a different special ability that you're charging up this meter. It's called your Fever gauge, and then when it's full, you can press X to launch into a special shot, and when it lands, that special effect takes place. And there's like lightning can rain down on your opponent's side of the court, or you can turn the ball into a bullet bill that goes wicked fast, like just super fast back and forth. You usually win the point if you use the bullet bill. Or there's a charge and chuck racket that can turn the tennis ball into a football. So then it's like all oblong and bouncing around at weird angles that you can't really predict. And yeah, every player picks a different Fever racket. So if you're playing a doubles match with 4 different players out there, there's 4 different special moves that can take place at pretty much any time. There can be ink splattered on the court and a fire bar from Super Mario Brothers that's spinning around on the court that damages you if it hits you. And it can get really, really crowded and overwhelming, but it's a totally fun party game vibe.
Awesome. I mean, all of that should be a disqualification worthy and highly illegal, but it sounds really fun. How does it sort of compare to the legacy of this series? Because I know like this has been a sort of like a side of the franchise that has been going on for a long time, and I don't know if people really expected that this one would be here so soon, but there's a lot of nostalgia for the old Mario Tennis games.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think there's kind of two parts to that question. Part one is, in recent generations, the Mario sports games have really struggled to have enough content, specifically at launch. Like I think of Ultra Smash on Wii U is maybe the most bare bones game Nintendo's ever released. It was just ridiculously short on content. Aces on Switch was better in that regard, but then it kind of had this strategy to piecemeal its content over free updates to keep people playing online and kind of do this weird live service thing. And it got to a good place eventually, but it launched kind of light on content. And Fever is finally fixing all of that. It has 38 playable characters at launch, which is the most ever. Like it's more than Aces finished with, which is really cool. And there's
crazy.
Baby Waluigi is one of them, and he is cursed and ridiculous and funny. And there's the new Donkey Kong design, the new Diddy Kong design, and the characters all look really great. And then there's 30 rackets, like I mentioned, a ton of different courts to play on. Single player modes, which I haven't gotten to check out yet. We just got to play kind of multiplayer tennis, but there's an adventure mode and there's a challenge tower. So kind of from the recent legacy of not being enough content, I think Fever is going to buck that trend and have a lot to do at launch, which is really good. But gameplay-wise, I'm not sure yet. I think that the core tennis is kind of suffering a little bit under the weight of all the Fever stuff. Like this feels like a crazy Smash Brothers all items on or the craziest Mario Party minigame, and it's kind of lost some of that core tennis that's always been really, really solid and fun in the Camelot games. Like I think of Mario Tennis 64, that's still really fun to just pick up and play a match. It still feels really good.
Right.
But in Fever so far, the ball is bigger. It feels a little bit floatier, almost like a beach ball at times, and it's all just slower. And I think that's to account for, I mean, there could be, like I said, ink splattering the court, and it's crazy. And I think that they wanted to maybe take the focus off the core tennis and on the party gimmicks a little bit, which is a shakeup for the series. And I think if you're looking for a more fun tennis game, this is more of a fun Mario game, I think is how it's leaning.
Got it. So it's got like a bit more of an arcade feel and less more of like a technical tennis style game.
Yeah, which Aces was super technical. Like Aces at times was like a fighting game. It had all this meter management where you needed to charge up your shots to fill up your bar and then launch into a special attack that could damage your opponent's racket. And like if you break their racket, you win the game. And it was very, very intense and technical. And I think maybe it was too technical. Like Aces is not a game that you can invite your friend over who'd never played it before and just play and have a good time. But if you get into it, it's really fun. Fever, I think, is a game that you can invite casual friends over and play it like you could with Mario Kart.
So this is a Switch 2 exclusive game. I think when we saw something like Donkey Kong Bonanza and we read developer diaries and stuff like that, they straight up said like we tried to get this running on Switch and we couldn't. Does this feel like a technically, graphically demanding game that, you know, absolutely needs the power of the Switch 2 and can't ever possibly run on Switch 1?
Yeah, it is. It looks noticeably better than Aces did on Switch 1. This is a big step up. It's didn't like blow me away like, wow, it's one of the best looking things I've seen. But in terms of Nintendo's stylized cartoony art style, this is a really, really strong realization of that. Even just like character models, like Luigi's shirt just has like this athletic mesh texture on it that the Switch 1 definitely couldn't have had. So the characters all look really good. And something I really noticed was just the crowd looks really nice. They looked really fuzzy in the last couple of games, but they're really nicely detailed models, and like they follow the ball. Like they watch the whole crowd, and there's like cameramen that are like following the ball with their cameras. And I think the last couple of games pushed the crowd off to the side a lot, and they had a lot of this empty space between the court and the crowd. But this one pushes the crowd kind of right up to the sideline. So there's a lot more going on because the Switch 2 can handle that. So yeah, like it's not super next gen, but there's these little details you notice that look a lot better.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's been fascinating watching Nintendo sort of like slowly reach the, you know, internal standards of what a 4K game should look and play like. And they started being like, well, what if we had like, you know, gene textures and bristles and individual mustaches?
Exactly.
And now it seems like they're getting a lot more fun and comfortable with it. There is a Mario Wonder tennis court in this game, and I'm dying to know about it.
Yeah, this is super cool. And this is kind of the gimmicky side of Mario Tennis that I really like, is when they take the court and they do something crazy with it. And the one I got to see was inspired by Super Mario Bros. Wonder. And instead of competing for points like you do in a normal tennis match, you're competing for Wonder Seeds. And for the first half of the match, you earn a Wonder Seed. like normal tennis just by winning the point. But then halfway through the match, the server hits a wonder flower that appears over the net, and a wonder effect takes place. And the marching, singing piranha plants from Mario Wonder's second level pop out of warp pipes, and they're like walking all around the court. And then you have to aim your tennis ball at these piranha plants, and then when you hit one and kill it, it reveals a wonder seed, and then you have to aim the ball at that wonder seed. And so you can score like 5 or 6 wonder seeds doing it this way. So if you were down by 3 points from the normal tennis match, you can come back and win by doing really well in the piranha plant segment. And that was just a very cool, very Mario spin that actually felt like more skillful tennis too, because you're really aiming your shots and making sure you hit it to the right place. And there's going to be more wonder effects too. Like I saw the bouncing hippos in the trailer, so it's not just the piranha plants, there's more of them. And that was just a really, really fun spin on the court.
It's cool that between that and the Super Mario Wonder update that's coming, they're victory lapping on that game a little bit. So yeah. I hope they keep taking elements of it and putting it in more and more games. Did you get a vibe that there was sort of like a progression, career, story style mode in this, or did it mostly feel like kind of arcadey?
Yeah, there is the single player mode where you're going to play as like Baby Mario, Baby Waluigi, and go through kind of this tennis academy. We haven't seen anything of what that looks like yet, if it's just going to be more of a tutorial heavy mode or actually have some fun challenges. There's boss fights, which look neat. And then there is going to be a challenge tower, which reminds me a lot of Super Smash Bros. Like classic mode, where it's just different spins on challenges. Like the one I've seen in a trailer is like Bowser is giant on the other side of the court, and you're playing as 3 babies on one side trying to beat him. So it's just going to mix things up in cool ways. In the build that I played, everything was unlocked. I don't know if that's just because it was a preview event and they wanted to let me pick any character that I could. So I'm not sure if there's going to be progression from that sense, but I think there's going to be a lot of single player stuff to do.
Sweet. Well, we will know much more when the game is out next week. Logan, we'll have a review for it. We'll probably have more hands-on impressions on our weekly show, Nintendo Voice Chat. So yeah, thanks for catching me up on Mario Tennis Fever for all things video games, tennis, and especially Baby Waluigi, a phrase I'll just never get used to saying. Stick with IGN.
Kirby Air Riders is totally bizarre, and I love it for that. This unexpected sequel to a niche single-button GameCube racer makes a significant jump forward. It has an enormous amount of varied content, meaningful unlockables, in-depth customization, and an unrivaled attention to detail. But there's only so far you can push a control scheme that's sometimes too simplistic for its own good. And Air Riders occasionally crashes into roadblocks caused by its own self-imposed limitations as a result. But if you meet the surprise revival on its own terms, you'll find a fun, frantic action game with an almost unreal amount of stuff to do. Air Riders includes more than 20 machines that each handle pretty differently, and a similar number of playable riders who come with their own stats and Final Smash-like special move. It's a great roster filled with characters from every era of Kirby history. My main is the hilarious Chef Kawasaki, who serves spicy curry that damages rivals. At first, there are only a few riders and machines available, but you'll instantly start unlocking more by playing any mode you like. Machines accelerate automatically, creating a constant feeling of on-rails forward momentum. It's your job to steer, glide off ramps to fly in the air, drift boost around sharp turns, and attack enemies and fellow riders. You do all this with the left stick and just one button that hits the brakes while charging your boost. Air Riders did add a second button compared to the original, but its main use is launching your special attack. This takes a lot of getting used to. Skidding around corners on a floating machine doesn't feel natural at first. And the unique quirks of mini vehicles ask even more of you, like the Swerve Star's limitation of only being able to turn while braking. But I love how strikingly original these mechanics and minimalist controls are, as there's really nothing else like the 2 Air Ride games, and mastering each machine's intricacies is genuinely a ton of fun. The Jetstar, for instance, is slow on the ground but gets huge bursts of speed whenever it lifts off, causing you to make mental bookmarks of the best spots to catch some air. This really feels nothing like Mario Kart, but in that same vein, Mario Kart is far easier for new folks to pick up and play. Air Riders includes in-depth lessons that explain everything in great detail, but if you're inviting friends over to try it out for the first time, expect a similar amount of onboarding as teaching someone a new board game. I got used to the controls very quickly, thanks to a surprising amount of legacy skill from playing lots of the first one when I was a kid, and really fell in love with how this sequel has totally fleshed out the promise of the original. This improvement is specifically noticeable in Air Ride, the traditional racing mode that features 10 6-player races on a fantastic lineup of 18 courses, 9 new and 9 returning. A common complaint to the first game, which I share, is that the racing often felt like it was playing itself without much input. While it's still true that your machine can stumble to the end without you doing much of anything, there are a lot more things to consider in Air Riders that raise its skill ceiling to a satisfactory level. Opponents in front of you leave behind a trail of stars, and you want to stick to their racing line as closely as possible to increase your top speed. It's very important to defeat enemies as well, because every kill grants a small speed boost and charges your special meter. You want to keep the little things in mind too, like landing perfectly parallel to the ground to gain a speed boost on each jump. Some of these mechanics were in the first Air Ride, but they've been buffed here, and with an increased speed overall, I really felt locked in while keeping track of the fast-paced action and rhythmically hitting A at the right moments. This is all made even better by some incredible track design. Each new course feels like a roller coaster ride, with awesome visual effects, high-energy music, and tons of branching paths that play into different machine strengths. My favorite is Mount Amber Falls, a downhill sprint filled with switchback turns through a gorgeous forest bright with fall colors. But there's really not a weak entry in the lineup. Elsewhere, Top Ride takes the action to a bird's eye view, with top-down, bite-sized races on miniature courses inspired by the main tracks. This simple mode wears thin very fast, and honestly only feels like it's here out of obligation to the original. To be fair, it is more fleshed out than it used to be, but I'd almost always rather be doing the standard races instead. The last main game type is City Trial, the fan-favorite battle mode where up to 16 riders drop into an open city map and work for 5 minutes to build the strongest machines they can. Once time is up, everyone competes to win a minigame with that custom machine. Over 20 years later, City Trial is still the highlight of this package. Riding around the new map called Skya, hunting for stat boosts and a better machine, attacking any rivals you come across, and dealing with the random events that take place is a blast. And it's so easy to play just one more round with friends. Good morning, Super Nintendos. Welcome to IGN and Nintendo Voice Chat's live watch party and post-show for the Nintendo Direct Partner Showcase. I'm Logan Plant, joined this morning just by Seth Macy. Good morning, Seth.
Good morning. The only thing more contagious than my excitement is this cold that I have right now. So
oh, no.
Please bear with me if I look miserable. Because I'm not. I'm having a great time.
Yeah, a little under the weather, but we're still here and excited to talk about the Nintendo Direct Partner Showcase. We're getting 30 minutes of updates on third-party games coming to Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch 2. We got about 4 minutes until the show, so let's do a quick round of predictions. Seth, what do you think we're going to see today?
Okay, you asked for predictions, but this is mostly just me wishfully, like putting it out into the universe. I would love the Oblivion remake on Switch 2. After playing it on Xbox, it reminded me how much I really loved Oblivion, and it is much better than it was back on the 360 days. It's a little hard to go back. Beautiful game, very fun. It's exactly the kind of game that I love to just lose myself. So that's my wishful thinking. And then for prediction, I think, they're going to show us the Disney Afternoon Collection, which we already know basically everything about anyway. And I actually just pre-ordered it right before we went live. So yay me.
Yeah, because that's coming with two games to the Switch version that were not on the other versions when this game came out, right?
That's right. They are not only are they not on, they will not be coming to the other versions of the game. That's Goof Troop, which was made by the Resident Evil team, I believe, and Bonkers, which I have no familiarity with as a video game.
Cool. Well, yeah, I like your prediction there. Microsoft is probably going to be here. We know we're getting Fallout 4 on Nintendo Switch 2 and Indiana Jones and the Great Circle on Switch 2, so those could be here as well. And then I want to see the Duskbloods today. That is published by Nintendo outside of Japan, but this is the collaboration between Nintendo and From Software. It was revealed last April at the Nintendo Switch 2 premiere, and we've heard pretty much nothing about it since. There is precedent for Nintendo published games developed by third-party developers appearing in these showcases. We saw it with Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment last year, Endless Ocean Luminous the year before, so there is a chance we could see Duskbloods here today.
Yeah, I'd forgotten about that one, yeah. So that would be kind of nice to hear something about a game that we were all kind of scratching our heads, but tentatively excited about when we first saw it, so yeah, that'd be pretty sick.
It's it's a multiplayer-focused From Software game, and the two companies that I think are some of the worst at multiplayer are FromSoft and Nintendo, so they're coming together to make one. Hopefully it works out and is good. And then on a personal level, I just want to see Ace Attorney 7. I've been waiting so long. It's been 10 years since Ace Attorney 6 on 3DS, and there was that Capcom leak 5 years ago that showed this roadmap of all this Ace Attorney stuff, and everything is out. Everything's been out for years now, except for this last missing piece, which is a new entry, and I think we could see it today.
Hell yeah. Well, I hope for your sake we see it. I know how much you love the Ace Attorney games.
Any last calls from you, Seth?
Yeah, I think we're gonna get a high guard or no. No, I don't think that's gonna happen.
I don't think so.
No, if my brain were working a little bit better, I did have a lot of predictions prepared, and then my body is betraying me and filling itself with germs. So it's affecting my ability to make accurate or fun Nintendo predictions. Let me think. Oh God. Obviously we're gonna see Resident Evil. And
maybe Leon amiibo to go with the Grace amiibo we already know.
I've heard I've heard some rumors that we're going to get a Leon amiibo, so that would be cool. And it would be cool if we got a big, oversized amiibo of the crazy spooky granny goblin that is in the demo.
I just played RE9 on Switch 2 last week at a preview event, and that was so terrifying. The jump scare with that monster is crazy.
That part is a nightmare, and I'm very excited for this Resident Evil game, especially having it on Switch 2. It's going to be really cool.
A producer saying Crimson Desert. I don't know if that's coming to Switch 2.
I don't think that's coming to Switch 2.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. That's going to be a huge game. Well, we got 10 seconds to go for the Nintendo Direct Partner Showcase. We're going to watch the whole thing right here with you, and stick around after the show because we'll dive into this week's episode of Nintendo Voice Chat with a post-show breaking down everything that Nintendo is about to reveal.
Deep in space, a research station was suddenly struck by a cosmic storm. 15 years later,
this is the orbitals.
survivors are living peacefully. But the threat of another cosmic storm is coming up fast.
This looks incredible.
Maki and Omura, two young explorers, must now brave galactic dangers and save all that's left of their home. Teamwork is key in this two-player co-op adventure. You'll need a few tools.
Yeah, this looks awesome.
The scraphook grabs
I love the
invisible
80s anime.
platforms so you can carve a path forward. The liquid launcher blasts water to activate mechanisms and cool down scorching surfaces. And the beam cannon fires a stream of super hot heat to destroy obstacles, open doors, and more. Use the tools together, and you might discover unexpected solutions to puzzles. While exploring, you can encounter strange.
I also think this is a Switch 2 exclusive.
Opt for a detour and take a little travel break. With GameShare, two players can adventure together locally or online if one person has the game. Can these two brave explorers save their home? Orbitals launches exclusively on the Nintendo Switch 2 system this summer.
Yeah, that looks awesome. I love those type of co-op games like that.
Welcome to today's Nintendo Direct Partner Showcase. In this presentation, we'll be focusing on games from our publishing and development partners coming to the Nintendo Switch 2 and Nintendo Switch systems. What you just saw was Orbitals, launching exclusively on Nintendo Switch 2 this summer. We hope you're looking forward to this intergalactic co-op puzzle adventure. Okay, let's take a look at some upcoming Nintendo Switch games.
This could be Ace Attorney.
I'm thinking.
In the waters of Issei Bay, on an island where legends of mermaids have been passed down, a tale of mysteries and
maybe not.
stirs. The latest Paranormasight mystery adventure is coming to the Nintendo Switch system. The story follows Yuza Minakuchi, a boy who works as a pearl diver. One day, while gathering on the seafloor, he encounters another version of himself. This phenomenon is just the beginning. Soon, other strange incidents begin to plague the island. A girl with no memories,
it's like a Red Dead.
Strangers searching for treasure, and a housewife investigating victims of drowning. Speaking to those involved is a natural part of the investigation, but you'll also need to search deep within the waters of Issei Bay. As each of their motives intertwine, the story connects to the mermaid legend told centuries ago. Paranormasight, The Mermaid's Curse, launches on Nintendo Switch, February 19th. Pre-orders begin later today on Nintendo eShop. Battle for World Glory! A new Captain Tsubasa game is kicking its
Oh, okay. Cool.
Choose from a roster of over 110 characters representing 22 teams. Score with powerful shots from the original work, as well as newly added special moves that give passes, blocks, dribbles, and tackles a boost. Go on the offensive against elite competitors as you aim.
Is that a dump truck on the soccer field?
Yeah.
Gear up for sensational soccer action. When Captain Tsubasa 2 World Fighters launches on the Nintendo Switch system this year. Next up are games heading to Nintendo Switch 2, including some games that will also be available on Nintendo Switch. A life or death fight for survival begins. It was a normal day until a cave-in befell the city of Tokyo. As the dust settles, our protagonist, Anne, discovers an underground world deep below the metropolis. But she's not alone. Creatures called Xeno populate the unknown expanse.
Filthy Xenos.
If you're found by a Xeno, it's game over. Fighting is not an option, so quick thinking and decision-making are vital to your survival. Analyze their patterns and find the best route to make your escape. Activate traps in each area to lure and ensnare any stalking Xeno.
Oh.
Wow.
And
I would be really terrible at this.
Up to 4 players can share controls, including Anne's movement and camera adjustments. Whether locally or online, coordinating with your friends is key to making it out alive. Survive the subterranean depths in Tokyo Scramble, launching exclusively on Nintendo Switch 2, February 11th. Pre-orders begin later today on Nintendo eShop. Awaken your Viking spirit.
Whoa, is this Valheim?
Battle,
Looks like it.
build,
Yeah,
and
cool.
conquer
Dude.
this massive survival.
Yeah.
How you go about it is entirely up to you. You could start by gathering materials around the woods. Fashion a bow and arrows to hunt wildlife and prepare meals.
Did you play this, Seth?
Oh yeah, we used to play it. Me and the Beef Lords used to play it on PC.
Yikes.
Cool.
Don't get hit by falling trees. Build pillars, install beams, construct walls, make the roof, and even add a fireplace. Now you're safe, even from the cold. Wait, is this ventilated? Don't forget the chimney too. By upgrading your crafting stations, you can make items of higher quality. And once you've built a ship, set sail on the high seas to reach new lands and create even more strongholds. Plus, up to 10 players online can explore this vast world together.
That's the way to do it.
Now, go forth and survive in Valheim, launching on Nintendo Switch 2 this year.
That's a good get.
Find your way forward in these games. Return to the kingdom of Hallownest and fight back the infection in this upgraded modern classic. Dodge, dash, and slash through this 2D action adventure platformer, now with enhanced visuals and improved frame rates on Nintendo Switch 2. Equip charms to enhance your abilities and deal magic damage using upgradable spells while exploring the vast interconnected map. Descend into a world of insects and heroes when Hollow Knight Nintendo Switch 2 Edition launches on Nintendo Switch 2 later today. Nintendo Switch 2 players who have Hollow Knight on Nintendo Switch can upgrade to the Nintendo Switch 2 Edition for free with the upgrade pack.
Heck yeah!
That's really nice.
eFootball,
Free upgrade?
reborn from Pro Evolution Soccer, is coming to Nintendo Switch 2. Build out your club, sign legendary players, and compete in tournaments around the globe in World Tour mode. Join an exciting competition where national teams.
This is the soccer direct. There's always some genre that gets like 3 games for the direct.
Or play with friends locally or online to prove who's at the top of their game. Experience the excitement of soccer and aim to be the best in the world when eFootball Kickoff launches on Nintendo Switch 2 this summer. Travel through 4 ages in a brand new HD 2D action RPG.
This demo was awesome.
The age of safekeeping, the hero Elliot's own time. The age of reconstruction, when humans nearly went extinct. The age of magic, a time when spells flourished. And the age of budding, the birth of human civilization. In each age, the scenery and citizens of Elliot's hometown will change. You can also obtain some weapons and magic unique to certain time periods. A story spanning time will soon begin. The Adventures of Elliot, the Millennium Tales, launches on the Nintendo Switch 2 system.
We didn't have a date for that yet.
Have a blast!
Oh, Bomberman!
Games from the Super NES.
Yeah.
Play the first Super Bomberman through to the culmination of the series, Super Bomberman 5, including titles
5 Super Bombermans
worldwide. The Famicom versions of Bomberman and Bomberman 2 are also included. Plus, there's a brand new Boss Rush mode, as well as game share support. Super Bomberman Collection launches on Nintendo Switch 2 and Nintendo Switch later today.
Yeah.
Nice.
The unknown journey continues.
Oh, here we go.
The second entry
I mean, it's not a
of
surprise,
Final Fantasy VII Remake series is coming to Nintendo Switch 2.
He's alive.
In pursuit of his arch nemesis Sephiroth, Cloud Strife and his comrades escape the city of Midgar and embark on a journey across the vast world. Traverse the planet on chocobos, wheelies, in a buggy, or other modes of
That looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Team up with allies in battles, blending action and strategy. If you'd like to focus on the story, there's also a boost function to make combat easier. You'll also find various activities scattered across the world, allowing you to take a break from the action.
You're mine.
And as you interact with your allies, their affinity toward you will grow and impact how the story unfolds. What fate awaits Cloud and his crew in their pursuit of Sephiroth? Final Fantasy VII Rebirth launches on Nintendo Switch 2.
Oh, wow.
Wow, that's really soon.
Yeah.
Intergrade just came out like last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. And that's an amazing port of the first one.
Vitals stable. Awakening subject. Hugh Williams.
While investigating a lunar research station, an injury
This port's really good
befalls
too. I just played this
spacefarer
last
Hugh
week.
Williams.
Nice.
With him is Diana, an android called a Pragmata.
There you are. All better.
Classified as unauthorized intruders, the two are targeted by the station AI, which sends enemy bots after them.
I wonder if they'll drop the demo today, because there's a demo on PC that's supposed to come to console.
Have near impenetrable armor.
I think I can help.
Seems possible.
But with Diana's hacking skills, you can break down
another
their
amiibo, I
defenses.
bet.
Initiating hack.
What the heck
Yeah.
was that?
By moving the cursor through panels toward the green goal, you can hack the enemy bots.
There's no time to explain.
Oh, yeah. Hacking
Once
minigames.
their
Let's
weak
go.
points are
2008.
exposed, fire away.
I hacked it.
Depending on the nodes you pass through, you can modify the damage and effects of a hack. Each split-second decision can change the outcome of battle.
Energy levels.
What truths will the two find in this AI-controlled lunar station?
So it's not one of your bot buddies?
Overdrive protocol. Initiate.
This looks really good.
Baby. We did it!
Yeah, the Capcom games target 60 FPS on Switch too, which is really impressive.
And what will Diana learn on this journey? Pragmata launches on Nintendo Switch 2, April 24th. A demo will be available later today on Nintendo eShop.
Sweet. Yeah, everyone should check that out. The demo's really cool.
We hope you're looking forward to fast-paced combat and exploration with a unique combination of hacking and shooting. Let's continue with more headlines. Journey to the Lost Lands.
Is this Turok?
Become a legendary Turok warrior in this intergalactic action shooter. To stop an alien threat from destroying all human life, you'll journey solo or with a team of warriors online and battle all sorts of primal creatures in ferocious combat. Swap between first-person and third-person perspectives as you unleash weapons, melee attacks, and special abilities to devastate foes. Extract DNA from fallen enemies and the environment to upgrade your arsenal, evolve your mantle, and unlock even more abilities called Echo Sinks to gain a greater edge in combat. As you venture across breathtaking worlds, you'll unravel the mysteries that ultimately hold the key to saving humanity. Turok Origins launches on Nintendo Switch 2 this fall.
It's also the Dinosaur Direct
of Xanadu. In a Japan where Kyoto is the capital, another world exists that's encroaching on our own. A world where monsters roam free. A boy named Ray must use his newly awakened powers against the threat as he joins Hirasaka Academy, a school for gifted students. The Academy's goal? Conquer Xanadu, the great labyrinth rumored to be the origin of this other world. While traversing the labyrinth, hone your abilities and reshape the terrain to expand the range of your exploration.
That's not what I expected this to look like at all.
Not at all.
On dangerous enemies in 3D action RPG combat. Use your powers to overcome foes. Outside the labyrinth, improve your stats. And spend time with your friends as you prepare to conquer Xanadu. The battle between man and monster begins. Discover the truth when Kyoto Xanadu launches on the Nintendo Switch 2 and Nintendo Switch systems this summer. Check out these anime-style games. It's time to evolve in the latest Digimon story game.
Digimon are
nice.
A powerful blast causes the world to collapse and sends you 8 years into the past. With over 450 Digimon to collect, adventure through the human world and digital world to save the future.
Celestial Arrow!
And on Nintendo Switch 2, you can select quality mode, playing in 4K at 30 frames per second, or performance mode, playing in full HD at 60 frames per second. Digimon Story Time Stranger launches on the Nintendo Switch 2 and Nintendo Switch systems July 10th. Pre-orders begin later today on Nintendo eShop. An adventure set high in the sky is soaring in. Form your party from a roster of over 20 characters, each with their own fighting style. Channel the power of teamwork and summon mighty primal beasts to vanquish your enemies. You can also team up in local or online multiplayer. Grand Blue Fantasy Relink Endless Ragnarok launches on Nintendo Switch 2, July 9th. The latest Monster Hunter Stories game is flying in. Your monster
These games are so good.
called Monsties can learn special abilities through a ceremony called the Rite of Channeling. Raise your Monsties as you travel the world. The lands lie on the brink of disaster. Monsters are on the verge of extinction. And the riders trying to save the world will have to contend with an even greater threat. Monster Hunter Stories 3 Twisted Reflection soars onto Nintendo Switch 2, March 13th. A demo will be available later today on Nintendo eShop. Save data can be transferred to the full game once purchased. New titles are joining the archives.
3, 2, 1, go!
Rave Racer, published by Namco in 1995, speeds into the Arcade Archives 2 lineup. Aim for first place in a race against your rivals. And get ready for a new line of home console titles. Console Archives is on the way. Doraemon. Sonic Wings Special. And more will be released over time. The first wave of Console Archives titles includes Cool Borders and Ninja Gaiden 2, The Dark Sword of Chaos. These titles will be available on Nintendo Switch 2 later today.
Very excited about Reanimal. Looks great.
Yeah. Oh, Switch 2 edition. I was like, isn't this already out?
Nice.
Wake up, little June.
Why are you hiding? Let's make some noise.
Oh, Tails, nice.
We found another body. I need your eyes on the crime scene.
Oh, okay.
When a string of mysterious deaths.
Maybe a demo for this too?
FBI analyst Grace Ashcroft is captured by the suspect while investigating the case.
What did it do to me?
In her attempt to escape, Grace comes up
There's
against
that thing you were talking about. I hate it so much.
Spooky granny lady.
A limited supply of healing items and ammunition are at her disposal. Will she confront the threats head on or save her ammo for the next encounter? For Grace, impending doom is always close at hand. Meanwhile, another agent working for an anti-bioterrorism organization is also on the
Give him an amiibo.
Leon S. Kennedy.
That's all we want.
6 survivors of Raccoon City, all dead from the same thing.
With his physical prowess, Leon can parry an opponent's attack, then strike to break the stunned opponent's stance in close quarters combat. He can fire from a distance using handguns and rifles, or use an enemy's weapon against them. Leon has a varied arsenal of attacks at his disposal.
Why is he missing all of the shots in this
game
trailer?
features both third-person and first-person camera perspectives, and you can change your
Does
perspective.
the frame rate just tank when blood appears?
There are multiple difficulty options available, including a mode for less experienced players that features aim assist. Guide Grace as she attempts to escape unprecedented terrors, and Leon, who relies on strength to carve his own path. What will they discover when their fates intertwine? Resident Evil Requiem launches on the Nintendo Switch 2 system February 27th. Pre-orders are available now on Nintendo eShop. Resident Evil 7 Biohazard and Resident Evil Village will also be available the same day. Horror-filled excitement awaits, whether you play these games or Resident Evil Requiem first. Plus, a Nintendo Switch 2 Pro controller featuring original art is releasing alongside the games. Amiibo figures of Grace and Leon will also be...
Yeah!
Hey, there it is.
Oh, that's
nice.
a good one, too.
To receive
Yeah.
in-game weapon skins.
Nice. Oh, okay. Skins, fine, sure.
Resident Evil Requiem, the latest entry in the Resident Evil series, is launching later this month.
I think there's just one thing
Look
left.
forward to a creator's voice video featuring a member of the Resident Evil Requiem development team. The video will release in the near future. Next is our last announcement.
Hey everybody, from all of us here at Bethesda
Todd
Game
Father.
Studios. If you're like us, Nintendo has meant so much to you from your early days of gaming to now. It was incredible for us to partner on the original Switch, and it was just such a great piece of hardware and also so personal when you play. We're excited to finally bring a number of our franchises for the first time to Nintendo.
Ooh.
We hope you all enjoy the journey.
Vault Dwellers, welcome home. Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition is emerging on Nintendo
I wish this
Switch
hadn't have
2.
been spoiled, because I
Yeah.
was really excited by this news. I mean, I am.
And create
I like Fallout 4, I think,
as
more
you
than
reshape the
most people
wasteland
do.
and what remains of civilization.
This is
Every choice matters.
coming to Switch 2 later than it came everywhere else.
Or pining to pump up your power armor. Choose from hundreds of perks that fit your playstyle.
Is it going to be a shadow drop?
Somewhere new.
That would
From
be
the heart
sweet.
of Diamond City to the shadowy corners of forgotten vaults, the Commonwealth is packed with stories waiting to be uncovered. In addition to the base game, experience 6 official expansions and over 150 Creation Club items to expand your adventure. Grab your Pip-Boy and traverse the wasteland in Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition. Launching on Nintendo Switch 2,
Okay.
February
3
24th.
weeks.
Yeah.
Pre-orders begin later today on Nintendo eShop. The year is 1937. Sinister forces are on the hunt for an ancient power, and only one person can stop them.
Watch me.
Embark on a globe-trotting cinematic adventure in Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Set between the events of Raiders of the Lost Ark and The Last Crusade, Indy will journey around the world to uncover the mystery behind the Great Circle. From the pyramids of Giza to the sunken temples of Sukhothai and beyond, use your wits to infiltrate historic areas and solve fiendish puzzles. Or use your whip to face off against dangerous foes and explore a world full of daring escapes and unforgettable encounters. Adventure calls when Indiana Jones and the Great Circle launches on Nintendo Switch 2, May 12th. Pre-orders begin later today on Nintendo eShop. Explore the vast landscape of Cyrodiil in the Elder Scrolls.
Oh, yes!
Hey, you called it!
Yes!
This renowned
Let's
open-world
go!
RPG, now on a Nintendo system for the first time.
Yes. Well, buying this one
Freely
again.
Customize your character to match your playstyle.
Nice
Then
prediction.
adventure amongst an unforgettable cast of characters
By the grace of the gods, I serve Tambriel as her ruler.
and fight back the Daedra to close shut the jaws of oblivion. Master ranged or melee weapons, wield powerful magic, or use stealth skills to best your foes. In this remastered version, character models, weapons, even rocks and sweet rolls have all been meticulously recreated. Combat animations have also been updated.
They're gonna
give
drop
them
this
a
today, aren't
modernized
they?
touch.
Bet they do.
Plus, the
Available
Shivering
later
Isles
today.
and Knights of the Nine expansions are included alongside the main
And
story
coming
to take your
April,
adventure even further.
Daedra Amiibo.
Step through the gates once more when The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered
just this year.
launches on the Nintendo Switch 2 system this year.
That's cool.
I like that.
You're excited for these games from Bethesda Softworks. That's all for today's Nintendo Direct Partner Showcase. Thank you for watching.
Welcome to the Nintendo Direct live post show here on Nintendo Voice Chat, or our normally weekly episode if you're listening later on YouTube or audio services. I'm Logan Plant, joined by Seth Macy. We just watched the Nintendo Direct this morning. What'd you think, Seth?
I thought that was great, actually. The little stinger at the end, wasn't expecting that one. Some of the stuff was spoiled, but overall, strong lineup of partners, third-party games for the Nintendo Switch, probably on par with what you'd expect for any of the other consoles, and it's probably not really something we could say for the last few Nintendo generations. So yeah, it's awesome. It looked great.
Yes,
it's going to be good.
Still not used to seeing this type of game on Switch 2. I mean, Resident Evil Requiem in a few weeks is a great get for Switch 2. Indiana Jones was a big hit a couple years ago, finally coming out. And then your one prediction in our pre-show, Oblivion Remastered, was the final thing of the show, which was cool. I thought it was okay. I don't know. I think that a lot of time was spent on games we already knew with not really any new information. Like Requiem, we've known for a while. That's coming to Switch 2. That's great. Pragmata, same thing. There is a demo available today, and the Leon amiibo was the new news for Requiem, but still, that was like a lot of time on those we knew about. And then Bethesda, unfortunately, some of their stuff did leak before the show, but that was a cool thing to end on with three big games coming to Switch 2. I thought Valheim was a really cool game. You said that you played that on PC a lot.
Yeah, we used to play, me and the like group of guys that I play with for like everything on PC. We played like back in early access, and the only reason we stopped was because it was still pretty glitchy, and we were like sailing somewhere, and it glitched, and we just kept taking damage, and we died, and we were so far away from our base. We're just like, let's just not do this anymore.
Rough.
That being said, even then, when it was still like a glitchy kind of pre-release version, super fun game, especially if you get a crew of people together. Like, it is so fun to just build up your stuff and then go explore lands, build your camps, build your cities, find crazy, spooky things. And it's a very, very fun game with a group of people, especially. I mean, it's fun by itself, but like if you get a good group of friends together to play this, it is awesome. And like having it be a handheld thing on Switch now is super cool.
Yeah, I thought that was a really fun announcement. I played it like 5 or so hours on Steam. I just don't really game on PC very much. So this coming to Switch, I'll definitely pick up. It's a very good tree puncher. So I'm excited about that. We're going to talk about every game that was in the Direct, or just most of the highlights, but I also want to say you should stick around if you're watching with us live, because later in the show I'm going to talk about all the first party stuff that I played last week at a visit to Nintendo. I played Mario Tennis Fever, I played Mario Wonder on Switch 2, I played Virtual Boy, so stick around for that later. But let's go back to the very top of the partner showcase, which kicked off with Orbitals, which is a 2-player kind of split fiction type Nintendo Switch 2 exclusive, like an 80s 90s anime art style. Seth, I thought this was the highlight of the show. It's what led off. It's coming summer 2026, no date yet, but this looked really, really good.
Yeah, I mean the anime style of it just being that throwback style to like the kind of weird cartoons that I would catch when I was like a child. It has me very excited stylistically, but I don't really like co-op games where you have to play co-op.
Okay.
So we'll see. I mean, if it looks amazing, but we'll see. I just don't like that I have to play with somebody else, and it's whatever.
Yeah, that's fair. I think this is a really fun genre of games. I love A Way Out. It Takes Two, not as much, but Split Fiction is really great. And Lego Voyagers came out last year. It kind of fits this niche too of co-op platform puzzle games designed specifically. They have to be played with two players. I think it's a really fun genre. And yeah, just kind of the stop motion way this stuff is moving, I think looks really good. And it's just a cool get as a Switch 2 exclusive. I think it's a really good fit on a Nintendo console. We see here it has game share, so you can play with somebody on Switch 1 as well, even though it is just a Switch 2 game. So I think this is going to be a cool one this summer.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking forward to everyone enjoying themselves with it, and I will appreciate it artistically. Like right there, come on. Look at that. It's straight out of like some VHS that you spent $80 on at Suncoast Video, and it just turned out to be awesome. Like, I love that.
Yeah. A big announcement that we got sooner than I think we expected is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is coming to Switch 2 on June 3rd. We just got Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade like 6 days ago on Switch 2, and it's an incredible port. I put a review update for this up on IGN, and it just runs great. It's 30 FPS, but it's really, really solid, really smooth, and the resolution is nice too. And Rebirth is a much grander game. This is more open zone exploration, less of the linear Midgar hallways from Remake. But this is really great to see already coming in 4 months to Switch 2.
Yeah, I mean, I knew we were going to see it because they've said as much, but I didn't expect we were going to see it so soon.
Yeah, it looks fantastic, and I think that I'm curious to see how it's going to really run on Switch 2 in these more open areas. What they showed looks really good, but this I'm also excited about, that they showed that it has that same thing that Remake got on Switch 2, where you can just crank up, everything can do 9,999 damage just on a single hit, and so you can just blast through the story. I think Rebirth is a little bit bloated compared to Remake. Like I think that it does a lot of these very Ubisoft-like open area tower zones with a lot of filler content, and they gate the next main objective at a really high level, so you have to engage with some of this, I don't know, really C+, B- level open world activities. I haven't finished Rebirth. I like Remake a lot more, but with this kind of mode where you can just blast through and see the main story, I'm more inclined to go back.
Yeah, I still.
Did you play Rebirth at all, or have you not played this one?
No, I haven't finished Remake, so I have to.
Okay.
But my friend Chris, like, he got it for Switch, and he's just like texting me. He's like, "Bro, this is amazing." He's like, he didn't play it, I don't think, on PlayStation. He said it's like a 10-10 game for him personally. Like, he loved it. Okay. He loved the sort of story twist, and like playing it on Switch was just awesome. So I gotta finish this game. I have no excuse. Every time I play it, I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. I really like this.
Yeah.
And then I get distracted by other things. So.
It's just got such like a unique combat system with that like turn-based but also real-time thing that I think works really well. And
I was very hesitant to play any Final Fantasy game that doesn't have a turn-based battle system, because that's just what I grew up with. That's what I liked, and then this one kind of bridges the gap between what's modern and what I liked about turn-based, that you aren't pressured to be doing everything instantly because you can't slow things down when you're changing around or picking something. But also, it doesn't feel like some of these modern action RPG styles, it just feels arbitrary, like you're running around in a circle, and it doesn't actually matter that you're running around in a circle, because you're whatever attack you does. So very good game, especially if you haven't played it and you're a Switch 2 owner. Like, absolutely get it. And you might even be able to find the Day 1 edition still out there that has a pack of magic cards in it.
Yeah, which is a cool bonus, and that was only a $40 game, unlike Nintendo, who puts out these Switch 2 editions for $80. So pretty consumer-friendly pricing for Intergrade. That's out June 3rd. Capcom had a couple of games we mentioned. Pragmata is out April 24th, and there is a demo available today. And this is a new IP from Capcom. It's that third-person shooter mixed with hacking minigame that you said looks like a thing from the mid-2000s.
Oh, and I
this one, Seth.
I want to say, like, it maybe sounded like I was being sarcastic and making fun of that. No, I think we should return to hacking minigames. I think we should move the hacking minigame genre forward, and this one looks like it's doing that. And again, any sort of novel combat system in a game, I am all for it. So yeah, this one, I remember when they first showed this, and we're like, is this a Kojima game? And of course it's not. I'm not hugely excited. I'm going to kind of wait and see what everyone else is feeling with this one before I give it a go. It looks great. It looks interesting, but it's also, not something that I feel like I'm going to be jumping out on day one. But hey, maybe I'll play the demo today and be like, oh, okay, this is absolutely a game that I need in my life.
Yeah, this is a fun one to finally see coming out. It was announced at the PS5 reveal event 6 years ago, and then
Wait, was it that long ago? No.
Yeah, because this is the one that at the Game Awards, like 2 or 3 years ago, had that trailer where like Diana picks up a piece of paper off the ground and it says like delayed, like a sad crying face or something on it. Again, it's been a long road for this one. And it's finally coming out, and I'll talk about this now. I did play this one last week at a Nintendo Switch 2 preview event and was pretty impressed with the port. I think that it was a little rougher than Requiem, which I also played and ran fantastic on Switch 2. Like it targets 60 FPS on Switch 2, but was a little choppy. Still going to be a totally fine way to play this game if all you have is Switch 2 or you want that portability. But the game itself, I was super impressed with. This kind of left brain, right brain thing where you are strafing around these giant androids as Hugh and aiming with different types of guns. There's like a blast shotgun, which is good at close range, or a pistol, which has infinite ammo that you always have. And then Diana on your back, who you kind of ZL target like a Zelda or something, these enemies, and then you use the face buttons to complete that hacking minigame we see where you're moving this cursor from point A to the goal. And then there's little stops on the way you can make. There's like 3 blue squares. And if you pass through a blue square, your damage is boosted for the next shot that you fire. And then you can pick up these modifiers off the ground that says, oh, for the next 3 times you pass through this node, you'll create a wide hack effect that damages all 3 enemies in this circle that it creates. And so then when you're fighting enemies, you can choose, do I want to pass through that now, or do I want to wait to pass through it until I'm in kind of a tougher combat scenario? So it is really cool, because while that hacking is going on, you still have to pay attention as Hugh and work your way around these enemies and make sure you don't get shot. And there's like a parry mechanic too. I think it works really well in just the 15-minute demo I played. They're already building on this idea in cool ways in what I think is the very first level of the game. So I'm really high on this one. I love what Capcom has been doing lately. I mean, I love Monster Hunter, Resident Evil. They've been putting out great games. And to see a new IP from them when they're kind of firing as hard as they've been the last couple of years, I think it's going to be really great.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna give this demo a shot and see where I come out from it.
Yeah, I assume it's going to be the Sketchbook demo, which is the one already on PC and the same one that I played last week. So that is available today, and you should check that out. And then Resident Evil Requiem is out in just a few weeks, February 27th. We got a final trailer for that one here and confirmation of a Leon Kennedy amiibo, which I know was Brian Altano's #1 dream. So very happy for him this morning.
Yeah, hopefully he's awake.
Yeah. I know. The 6 a.m. Nintendo Direct. Why do they always do this?
They keep getting us back with the damn amiibo. I mean, it's not to the point. It's not like it was where I had to have every one that I could get my hands on. But now it's like, okay, these are cool. The Super Mario Galaxy amiibo that are coming out of Rosalina and Mario and the Lumas.
Yeah.
And like these third-party amiibo that are just, the quality is so good on them. It doesn't really even matter that they have in-game functionality. No. It's like my friend Terrence was always talking about, like, these are the high-quality collectibles that also do a little something that we never really got from Nintendo in a line like this. So it's awesome to see these cool amiibo, especially, like, man, a Leon Kennedy, we get the hatchet. He's all buff looking. Yeah, this is pretty badass.
Yeah, I agree. Nobody cares about the weapon skins that you're going to unlock by scanning these things, but that's fine. I think people know what they're getting into at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they do look good. So those are coming out summer 2026. Game looks really good. Played this one on Switch 2 also last week, and it was just the Grace demo that we've already seen before. It's kind of the beginning of the game where she wakes up in this hospital bed and then sneaks around these hallways. There's a dark hallway you can't go down, so you come back later. You eventually find like a cigarette lighter, so you go back and you're just holding this lighter, and it's all you have. And then, what are you calling this monster? The tall granny monster?
The spooky granny goblin. Yeah, she's just big, scary, like, granny lady that is... The demo it will scare you. You'll get some jump scares. And the atmosphere is amazing. I played the demo at PAX West on PlayStation 5. And, atmospherically, it is awesome. It feels like Resident Evil, like, in the best, all the best possible ways, which is good because it's a Resident Evil game and you would want that.
I am so confused about this trailer. We talked about on the live show. Why is Leon miss every shot that he takes in it? Is there some joke I'm missing, or do they not want to show what it's actually like on Switch 2 when you kill an enemy because it doesn't look good? Like, that's so weird to me. They show Leon miss like 4 shots in a row.
Yeah, if I had to guess, it's probably they didn't want to slap a mature rating on the stream or something, so they just had Leon miss.
Okay, that makes sense.
But
yeah, that's probably it. Yeah. But this is going to be a really cool port out February 27th on Switch 2. And then, Seth, your number one reveal of the show is Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered, which is coming to Switch 2 later in 2026. This was your one prediction, and it came true.
Yeah, it came true. I'm so happy. I'm always happy when a game that I really love comes to a Nintendo console, because then I can talk about it on this show. Otherwise, I don't get to talk about these games. But man, I mean, this was the first game that I played on the 360 that made me realize oh wow, the next gen is here. And the remake is really good. I have not run into the issues that people talk about. I guess the longer you play, the kind of worse it performs. But I have not experienced any of that. But playing this remake, I have gotten further on the story than I ever did on the original one. I never opened or closed a single Oblivion gate on the original one. I just walked around and picked herbs and just did side quests and explored. I also didn't know that there was a fast travel option, so I spent about 30 hours just walking everywhere without knowing it. And you know what? I'm fine with that. And having this on Nintendo Switch, as soon as they announced it, originally for when it came out for Xbox and PC and PlayStation 5, I was like, oh my God, why can't we have this on Switch 2? It would be so, this would be the perfect video game to play on a plane ride or something where you just want to kind of lose yourself and not have to pay attention to the fact that you're sitting in an uncomfortable seat with 200 other people for 6 hours.
Yeah, this is a really cool one, and I've never played this one. I've played some Skyrim. I've never played Oblivion, so I think this is a really great one.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna say Oblivion is better than Skyrim.
Okay.
Let me put it. I think I like Oblivion better. I think it's more varied than Skyrim. Not to say that Skyrim's a bad game or anything, but this game, I'm glad to see that they did a remake. This game needs all the love. It's wonderful. It's beautiful. It looks so good in HDR. It's unbelievable.
I know my experience with this one is going to be when a game gives me too much freedom, I can't handle it. And I just, in Skyrim, I never beat that game, which I just wanted to run the shop in that opening village. So I ran across the world to get the item you need to marry the shopkeeper. And then I took over the shop, and then I killed a bunch of chickens in that village. You're not supposed to kill the chickens. And that was it. And that was my 15 hours in Skyrim. I can't do it. It's the same thing in the Outer Worlds. Too much freedom. I got in this shootout that never ended in the first town, killed a bunch of characters important to the story, and yeah, that was it for my save.
That's funny because that's what I like about these games.
Oh yeah, me too. It's great. I just never see the end of them.
Oh no, I never beat Skyrim. I never beat any of I never beat Red Dead Redemption 2. I only beat Tears of the Kingdom because we were doing a show about the ending. Otherwise, I would just wander around that world and just do quests and have fun and caper.
Yeah, that's what they're about. I look at Fable, which isn't coming to Switch 2 as of right now, but I look at that game and I'm like, I'm never going to finish that. I'm just going to get into too much trouble, and everybody in town is going to hate me, and I'm going to be the town pariah. But I can't wait to be that. A couple other things from Bethesda. Fallout 4 Anniversary, which I think on this show you said, Seth, you like more than a lot of people do. Yeah,
I think Fallout 4 is great. I really enjoyed it, and I'm excited to go back and play that again. This already exists elsewhere. I kind of wish that the big reveal was the Fallout 3 remake that everyone seems to think is going to happen one of these days. But you know what? Fallout on Switch, same idea as I was saying with Oblivion. This is a game that you could just play on an airplane. It has all the expansions. The Far Harbor expansion it's almost a game, a Fallout game in and of itself. It's so huge. And my only criticism is they didn't hire anybody who could do a Maine accent, but that's fine. I mean, I'm right here, and they never called me, but that's okay. But yeah, Fallout 4.
It's not too late. Get in on the anniversary edition.
If you guys remake this, call me, and I'll coach you guys on the proper Maine accents.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, cool. That's out February 24th. And then last one from Bethesda is Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, which we already knew was coming to Switch 2, but we got a release date. That is May 12th. I dabbled in this one on Xbox when it came out originally, and this is just a really unique, really cool game. I think Nintendo fans are going to like it because there's definitely some Metroid Prime inspiration in this Indiana Jones game and its kind of puzzle focus, and just the way that it is a first-person game and very kind of methodical. You're uncovering these areas, but then when you're doing something more actiony, like climbing a rope or something, it zooms out to third person, like it does for Samus in the Morph Ball. So it's definitely some inspiration from Metroid Prime and Indiana Jones, and just a cool, different kind of take on a first-person game. Like it is super slow and puzzle focused, and it's this brawler combat where you just got your two fists and your whip, and that's it. You're not this killing machine, just like Indiana Jones really isn't in the movie. So I think he has a machine gun here, but you know what I mean. Like it's a much slower paced thing. You're not like this god like you are in a lot of first person games, and it's a really cool take.
Yeah, I never got around to playing this, but I know everybody loves it and everyone talks about how good it is, and I have no excuse. I have no excuse at all. And it looks like that shot right there, it looks a little on the jank side, but
yeah,
we'll see. I mean, I'm sure it'll be perfectly fine when it comes to Switch 2. And for a lot of people, this will be the only way to play it. And I didn't know it was like a slower, I thought it was more of an action-y game. So now I'm actually more interested in it because I do like solving puzzles and with the occasional combat. So
yeah, the combat is like a lot of sneaking around. Like I wouldn't quite go as far to call it a stealth game, but there's a lot of scenarios where you have a gun, but you usually have 6 bullets for it, and they're hard to come by. So it is about your fist or just finding like a sword, a saber hanging on the wall that you take down, and then you have like it is kind of that sandboxy type thing, like a Dishonored or something like that. So yeah, it's a lot different than just first person shooter combat.
Sweet. I mean, we can all agree Indiana Jones rules as just like a character. So
yeah, and this is such a faithful game, and Troy Baker is Indiana Jones, and at certain times, like when he's yelling especially, I think he sounds like Harrison Ford. There's a lot of times I think he just sounds like Troy Baker, but there's a lot of times he also does sound a lot like Indy.
That is something that I suffer with in a lot of games where as soon as I know it's Troy Baker, I'm like, I can't see this as a character. I can only hear Troy Baker talking. It's sort of like whenever I watch a movie with Leonardo DiCaprio, I'm like, he's not a character. He's just Leonardo DiCaprio doing an accent.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we talked about Valheim already, so let's talk about The Adventures of Elliot, which is one of my most anticipated of the year. This is coming from Square Enix. It's the HD 2D kind of take on a 2D Zelda. Like this demo came out last year, and it is really, really a lot like A Link to the Past. And this trailer showed even more of that a little bit. It's all about time travel. It's called the Millennium Tales, and you're going through these different ages of the world. And in every age that you're in, the town looks completely different. There's different items and powers to find. And this game is out June 18th, and I think it's looking really fantastic.
Yeah, it looks so good. I forgot there was a demo, so I have not played this. But, I mean, it's like everything I like. It's 2D, HD, it's Square Enix. It's he looks like maybe he's a red mage. Correct me if I'm wrong. But red mages, everyone knows, are the best type of mages. So, yeah. This looks wonderful. I'm very excited. Maybe I'll put my name down for the review, or maybe I won't, because that's going to be around IGN Live time. So
it's a busy time. Yeah, June 18th for that one, and then lots of other little smaller things. Super Bomberman Collection is coming from Konami.
Out today.
Yeah, out now. Are you a Bomberman fan?
You know what? I have the one that came to Switch when Switch launched, and I kind of just disappeared, but that is a really fun game, and I think people kind of skipped over it. So I didn't get to play these, but these were games that I was obsessed with wanting to play, because Bomberman was in like every issue of EGM. There'd be like some new version of Bomberman for some Japanese only console, and I was completely obsessed with them. And I never got around to playing them, and now I can play 5 Bomberman games on one collection today.
Yeah,
with Game Share.
Yeah. I like Bomberman enough. I don't know. I'm not super versed in the series to really recognize a difference between different Bomberman games. Like, it's Bomberman. Like, across them all, it generally feels like Bomberman, but it is cool to get unreleased ones through a collection. And Konami, who was not even making games for a long time. Going back and making collections of their classic franchises is a pattern that I continue to like to see.
Yeah, because Konami has such a good back catalog of amazing games, and this is the way to get them out there. And I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me.
Yeah. Bless you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Looks great though, and that is out now. I don't know, Seth. That's all the major ones that I had kind of written down to talk about. Is there anything else from the show you wanted to mention?
No, I'm a little surprised. I mean, we kind of already knew everything about the Disney Afternoon Collection, so there probably wasn't anything more to say there. But it is weird that I know, just based on like the posts that I've made on IGN Deal's social accounts, like people are like really excited for that game. And it has the 2 games that aren't on any of the other platforms and won't be coming to the other platforms. It's physical, so it was a little weird to not hear something about that, but
yeah,
that's fine. It's fine. I pre-ordered it before the show, before the show started. So
yeah, a last-minute IGN Deals post like 2 minutes before we went live to pre-order that. Yeah. I thought that just as we wrap up on the Direct, I thought it was fine. I think that there's always very critical eyes on the partner showcases because it doesn't have what you come for a Nintendo Direct, which is the Nintendo stuff. It's like Nintendo throws a party and then they don't show up to it.
Yeah.
And I think that's just a reality of these. I think there's a lot of hunger right now to see what's next for Nintendo. They announced a lot of stuff for this year last year, and that stuff is still coming out. Like Tomodachi Life got its own Direct.
Yeah.
And Mario Wonder is coming out next month, and Pokemon Pokopia, and we're waiting on dates for Yoshi and Fire Emblem and the Duskbloods, which I'm a little surprised didn't show up here.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm hoping we'll hear from Nintendo maybe later this month or maybe in March with a Direct of their own. I thought this show was just fine. There's some cool surprises, but it was fine.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't have my expectations super high. Normally I do. Like, normally I lie to myself and I'm like, yeah, no, but they are going to announce, 5 new Mario games and a new Zelda, even though it's a partner Direct. And then I didn't allow myself to cause the sort of grief of unrealistic expectations for this one. So I thought it was, I thought it was fine. Remember when Elden Ring was coming to Switch too? What happened to that?
Yeah, that version was really rough, and then it got delayed into this year. I thought we'd see it today.
I thought so
too. It did not show up.
I know the Gamescom demo was bad, and everyone was like pretty down on it. But then I played it at PAX West, and it was good. I was, and the team was like, "This is not the games." They mentioned over and over again, like, "This is not the Gamescom demo. This is a new demo," and it ran quite well, and we haven't heard anything about it since then. So, well, hey, maybe someday we'll hear more about this.
Yeah, they could just shadow drop this one at some point. Or
That's
something,
true.
Probably. Yeah, I'm surprised because I also played that PAX demo, and I thought, it was not near the disaster that the Gamescom one apparently was. I wasn't at Gamescom, so I thought we'd see it today. I thought we'd have it by now, but no From Software at all because we also didn't get the Duskbloods as we mentioned. So just more to look forward to. And then Borderlands 4 got canceled quietly, shelved indefinitely on Switch 2. So that's just not really.
You got to be careful. You can't say canceled when something's been indefinitely delayed.
Yes.
Definitely
delayed.
A PR person reached out to me when I used to write news. It was like, our game was not canceled. It was indefinitely delayed. Okay, please change what you wrote. So that's too bad. I didn't play Borderlands 4. My Borderlands obsessed friend Lish, he said he was like feeling kind of like how he felt when he was playing Borderlands 2. And that is another one of those games that like we had a group of 4 people that we would play obsessively on like Xbox 360. So to know that this is like such a good return to form for Borderlands. Also written, I think Sam Winkler's the head writer who did Tiny Tina. So like the writing is back. And not to have this on Switch, it seems like such a bummer. I'm sad that they couldn't figure it out because this is another one that just seems like perfect for the handheld Switch 2 experience. But oh well.
Yeah, it was a game that launched with a lot of problems on the platforms it did come to, got delayed for Switch 2, and then 2K, it sounds like everyone's just moving on to different projects. So maybe we'll see it eventually. They'll get back around to it, but I don't really expect it at this point. Yeah. Well, that was the partner showcase. Stick around because we are going to talk all about the first-party games that I played last week at Nintendo. But first, I want to share that if you want the perfect Pokemon team, then Planet Pokemon puts the power in your hands. You can pick your game, assemble 6 Pokemon, and customize everything. That is moves, it's held items, levels, it's got it all. You can check type coverage, resistances, and weaknesses instantly, filter and search through every Pokemon in your game, save multiple builds, and plan your squads for the battles ahead. You can build your dream team now at planetpokemon.com. This is a really cool website. It's got some awesome tools that our teams have worked on where you can go through and build an entire Pokemon team from pretty much any game. We're working on adding all of them from all the regions of Pokemon. There's maps for Legends EA. The whole Pokedex is in there. You can build your ultimate squad of 6. It's a super cool site. That's planetpokemon.com.
Oh my God. If this site had existed when I was 13, I would not go to any other websites. This is like, yeah.
Yeah, like when I was going to Cerebi all the time, just checking every day for Pokemon news, playing Pokemon games. Yeah, this would have been really cool. But yeah, you can go check it out now, Planet Pokemon. All right, Seth, last week I flew to New York City and I played a bunch of games on Nintendo Switch 2 at a big kind of spring showcase Nintendo hosted for their lineup of the next few months. I played Mario Tennis Fever, Mario Wonder on Switch 2, The Virtual Boy, and a couple other things. So let's start with Mario Tennis, which is out next week on February 12th. I got to. Where are you at on this one first before I jump in, Seth?
As far as my feelings towards Mario Tennis?
Yeah. How you feeling
I'm very
about
excited
Tennis
for
Fever?
it. I'm looking forward to it quite a bit. Baby Waluigi is what everyone wanted, and I really liked Aces. I didn't play it enough. Aces felt very much like a solid 7, and I think which is actually what we gave it anyway. But this looks like
7.8 or something like that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right.
In the decimal era.
Yeah. But this, I'm looking forward to this. Like, tennis games are almost always fun, and especially when they're like arcade, goofy Nintendo sports like this. So I'm very much looking forward to this. I think I'm going to have a lot of fun playing this game for a while.
Yeah. I think after playing it, I only played about 15 or 20 minutes of this one. And I think it is going to be a really solid Mario Tennis game. I played a few singles matches, a few doubles matches, and instantly, I mean, it's called Fever. The big mechanic is the Fever rackets, and that is what dominates the gameplay. There's 30 of them to choose from, and they have a ton of different effects on the match. There's like an ice racket that when you use your Fever shot, which is this gauge you need to build just by returning shots and playing normal tennis, then your ultimate unlocks. You use a Fever shot where your character launches into the air and you aim wherever on the court you want to fire this. And then when that shot lands, your Fever rackets effect takes place.
Okay.
And so it can be ice where you cover your opponent's side of the court in a sheet of ice and it's super slippery for them. So then you want to aim your ball that way so they have to slip over the ice on the way to return the shot. Or sometimes fireballs come out of the racket when you fire your shot. Or there's kind of these passive effect ones too. Like you can go invincible with the star racket. So other people's Fever effects don't impact you. So there's this push and pull of, do I want to pick an offense heavy one, kind of a tactics heavy one, a defensive heavy one for myself? And I think it's been really fun to kind of figure out how to use all 30 of these online, because I'm sure like a fighting game, there's probably going to be balances to each one. This one beats this one. And so if I see my opponent pick this one, I'm going to want to pick this one, which I think is really cool.
Awesome. Wow, 38 characters. That is so many. Is there like a story mode, or is it just strictly like competitive one through, start with an easy build?
There is an adventure mode that's going to star Baby Mario, Baby Luigi, Waluigi, and Wario. We haven't seen that yet. All we played at this event was the multiplayer standard kind of free play matches. But there is going to be that story mode, and there's going to be something called, I think it's called Trial Towers, which looks to me kind of like a Smash Brothers classic event style mode.
Okay.
They just throw you into different scenarios. Like, you're 3 babies, and you need to beat a giant Bowser on the other side of the court. So looks interesting. But yeah, the huge character count is really awesome too, Seth. Like everything was unlocked in this demo. I don't know if it's going to be like that in the full game, but everything was unlocked, and I played as Baby Waluigi, who is hilarious. And every character has their own stats and kind of their special ability, and you can read what that ability is when you're picking them. Like Baby Wario charges up his top spin shot super fast, so if you play him, you should use top spin. And Boo has this slicing serve that just goes completely like horizontal and catches everyone off guard, like he did in Aces. So pairing 38 characters with 30 rackets, it's a ton of different combinations.
Yeah.
And I think they're answering the call of Aces not having enough content at launch. This one is just stuffed with things to do.
Hell yeah. How does it feel? Like, does it just, the gameplay feel good? Or does it, do you have any worries about it?
Yeah, I think that the gameplay, it's like just how the tennis feels itself is my main concern, which isn't great.
That's kind of important in a tennis game.
Yeah, like it feels good. I don't want to sound like it's bad or anything, but Aces to me, it lacked content at launch, but it felt so good to play. Like it was fast. It had these fighting game mechanics and inspirations where with this bar management where you needed to charge up your bar to do a super shot and then break your opponent's racket, and you could kind of get your opponent off the back foot and take advantage with a good combo like you can in a fighting game. Really cool. Fever feels a lot more casual from the tennis perspective because it's so focused on the Fever effect. It's like when you are playing a doubles match with 4 people and you've got ink on the court and ice on the court and somebody is launching fireballs at you and there's a fire bar from Super Mario Brothers that somebody plants right in the middle of your court and it's spinning around. It's like the tennis can't be that crazy because you'd never be able to keep up with the ball. So it is, when you're just playing a normal tennis match, waiting for your Fever gauges to kind of pop, it's kind of floaty. Like the tennis ball feels a little more like a beach ball. Like it's just super slow moving. But then once the Fever stuff starts, then it's super frantic and you're like fighting for your life to chase down the ball, even if that ball is moving a little slower. So we'll see. It's a different flavor than Aces for sure. I don't think it's bad, but I adore Aces. And from the jump, again, only 6 or 7 matches I got to play, I liked Aces more, but we'll see if I kind of adjust to it more as I play more.
All right. No baby amiibo. No baby Waluigi amiibo.
No baby amiibo. No, an amiibo unlocked different tennis ball colors. That's
what?
That's where we're at. Yeah.
They're leaving money on the table, not having a baby Waluigi and a baby Wario amiibo. Come on now.
Agreed. They should have made that. But that's Mario Tennis Fever. The other Mario thing I played, Seth, was Super Mario Brothers Wonder Nintendo Switch 2 Edition plus Meetup in Bella Bell Park.
Baby Bell. Yes.
Baby Bell Cheese, as Brian called it a couple of weeks ago. Yeah. And since the last time we talked, that got a release date trailer that's coming out on March 26th to Switch 2. And it's going to come with Bella Bell Park, which is this multiplayer hub area where you'll play cooperative or competitive minigames with friends, either locally or online. It's going to have the Toad Brigade Training Camp, which is new single player or multiplayer challenges that take place in Wonder's existing levels, like collect 100 coins in 30 seconds in this level with the mamas that eat you. And then it's going to have Koopaling Wonder boss fights. All the Koopalings are back and they have their own boss fights. Rosalina's a character now. Luma's a character that you can control with mouse controls. And there's an assist mode. So lots of new stuff coming to this one. But I don't know. I still, after playing it, feel like this isn't what I or a lot of people wanted from Wonder DLC. And I wanted like challenge levels, which we're getting. I haven't seen yet, but I wanted like new worlds. I think that Wonder, you said it a couple weeks ago, Seth, could have used 2 more worlds.
It had 6 worlds. It's supposed to have 8. It's a Mario game. Excuse me. I'm so fired up now that my cold has been reactivated. Like that was my biggest. I was like, it's over. It's 6 worlds. How many? I mean, somebody correct me here if I'm wrong, but what 6 worlds? What is this? A Game Boy Mario game? I don't think so.
Yeah. It would have been nice to see. And I liked the special world in Wonder, but I thought it could have been a little more challenging.
Yeah.
Like Mario games are easy to beat for most people, but if you collect everything, you should be rewarded with really difficult final challenges they know you can handle.
Yeah.
And Wonder's special world wasn't all that tough. So I wanted that. But what is here is a bunch of multiplayer mini games. And I played one where I was playing with four people total, 3 other journalists, and 2 of us were using the Joy-Con 2 mouse controls to control a cursor on the screen, and 2 of us were playing as characters, and I was using the mouse controls. And basically, this felt like something straight out of the Wii U era, where you are using the mouse to place platforms on the screen for the 2 characters to platform across. And it leads to puzzles where Spikes are throwing their spiky rolling balls that they pull out of their mouths, and they're just throwing them into the abyss. And so I trace a platform to guide this rolling ball to hit some boxes to create a path forward for my teammates. So yeah, it was clever and fun and fine. That was probably the best one that we saw. We also saw this kind of hot potato one with a Bob-omb, where the Bob-omb has one of the characters' faces above it, and that character needs to be carrying the bomb or a timer ticks down. If that timer hits 0 before you clear the end of the level, you lose. So just some very kind of Mario Party meets Mario Wonder feeling stuff. It's not bad. I think with the right group, like if you're playing with your friends or your family, it could be really fun. Playing with people that are essentially strangers at a very curated preview event is not always the best way to see how these multiplayer party games really go. But I think there's going to be a lot to do. There's dozens of games in Bella Bell Park. There's some races. We were all carrying these baby Yoshis and had to feed our baby Yoshi more fruit than every other player that was popping up on screen. So yeah, if you want complete multiplayer mayhem, Mario Party type stuff, but with Mario Wonder controls, that's what this Switch 2 edition is. Not really what I wanted. I'm really curious to see how it's going to be received.
Yeah. I mean, I was a little bit more down on this game than most people, and I think there's no excuse for that other than well, no, there is an excuse. It didn't reach the expectations that I had. And is that fair to the game itself? Probably not. How are they going to know exactly what I want? But I don't know. I don't know if I want another Switch game with, 20% more. That's
Yeah. Let's talk about that, because that actually was my main takeaway leaving this preview event. Was I wrote an op-ed, which you can read on IGN, which is called "I'm already tired of Nintendo Switch 2 editions." And just playing this game, it was just it is frustrating to me that such a big part of Nintendo's strategy is to repackage these Switch 1 games, give them a visual boost, and then add, in my opinion, kind of misguided DLC packs to them. Like Jamboree TV was awful and unacceptable, and it was a bad expansion glued on to one of my favorite Switch 1 games in Mario Party Jamboree. Kirby Star-Crossed World, fine. Like just remixed versions of levels from the base game with some like glowy effects. Not a ton new there either. Probably the best one of the ones we've seen so far. And then Bella Bell Park is these multiplayer games that it's like, I don't know. It's if I want a multiplayer game with Mario on Switch, there's so many options for that. You can play Mario Party or Mario Kart or Mario Tennis, which is coming out in a week, or 3D World, which is more fun in multiplayer than Wonder is. And then these things cost $80 for the new consumer, which is a price point I still think is ridiculous. And then it's just so inconsistent across all the entries. Like I think it's just a really poor strategy that I don't think the market is responding all that well to either. I don't think these games are selling very well, and I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see that many more Switch 2 editions.
Yeah, and I mean, like I'm kind of surprised, but it seems like they're looking at the success of the games that they brought from Wii U to Switch and how well those did, but without realizing like, yeah, but that's because nobody owned a Wii U, and these games were just great anyway, and so like people had no other way to play them, and then to give us kind of the same thing with like a little value add that ends up costing so much more that actually doesn't add that much value because it's like weird or off brand a little bit or doesn't seem to like fit in. Yeah, I think I have to agree with you. I also would like to not see more of these Switch 2 editions unless it's just a free update of the graphics. Go ahead.
Yeah, and
keep doing that forever.
And that's something I want to point out is because a lot of the people reading and commenting on that article were like, oh, but so many of them are free. No, Switch, I'm not talking about the free updates. Like Switch 2 editions, I'm talking about these paid, sometimes 5, sometimes 10, sometimes 20, completely inconsistent dollar upgrades for these Switch 1 games that are then more expensive at retail also. What I love is I look at Splatoon 3, which got a free 4K update, and they added a brand new map on Switch 2 launch day. And then just last week, it got this update with health bars, and there were new weapon kits they added last year. And they're completely changing how this game plays, and it's all just free. And this stuff is on Switch 1 and Switch 2. Animal Crossing New Horizons, they released version 3.0. They added the hotel, free update, Switch 1 and Switch 2. All they put in the Switch 2 edition was like the 4K textures and the mouse controls, and more people can play online together. Like that, to me, is the right path for a Switch 2 edition. Yeah. What about, besides the mouse controls, what about a 4-player minigame in Mario Wonder says this can only be on Switch 2?
Right.
Why do you need to own the next-gen console other than the reason is that they want you to? And I just think it's really weak and super anti-consumer how they're doing it.
Yeah. I have to wonder how much of it is still the sort of domino effect from the pandemic and the lockdowns. Like, are these just the sort of stopgap measures that they have to fill in content because so many bigger projects were delayed or slowed down significantly? in that time, I don't know. But it also does kind of feel like a cash grab.
Yeah, it totally is. No, it is. You mentioned the Wii U. I think that's exactly right. I bought Mario Kart 8. I bought Mario Kart 8 Deluxe again. I was more forgiving of that for several reasons. One is I knew the reality. Nobody had a Wii U.
Right.
These are some of the best Nintendo games of all time. Let's save them and re-release them.
Yeah.
Also, you can't fit your giant Wii U disc into a Switch. It's just not a thing. Would have some sort of loyalty discount program been nice? Yes, they didn't do that. That's fine. But on Switch 2, it's just like 10 million people played Mario Wonder.
Yeah.
And now we're releasing a new version of this. How many of those people are going to pay this $20 to get these mini games?
Yeah.
I don't think it's that many. Kirby has not charted on their sales charts since they released that game. Not many people came back to Forgotten Land for that Switch 2 edition. Yeah. The numbers tell us that. So I don't know. I think that they are trying to fill out the release calendar. Maybe as teams get more stuff going on Switch 2, we won't see them as much anymore.
You know what I find kind of surprising, and maybe I'm wrong. Please correct me if so. But I don't hear anybody talking about Animal Crossing with the new update, at all. And that was the biggest thing that ever happened in video games when it came out. I mean, not really, obviously, but it seems like it came and went, and it didn't capture the imagination of anybody really, which is, I think, unfortunate. But
I think there is a small subset of just the hardcore Animal Crossing fandom that they're not engaging with IGN or traditional kind of games discourse and media. They're engaging with their Animal Crossing YouTubers, and like I've noticed those channels have gone up a lot in viewership again since this update.
Okay.
So I think there's a small group of people that they turn on their Switch and they have Animal Crossing and Jackbox Party Pack, and that's it. Like I think that there's people like that are back, but it didn't really recapture the wide appeal. And then last thing I want to say is that I think is really the worst thing about these editions is that Nintendo just chooses to make content seemingly arbitrarily for some of these games. Kirby gets it, Mario Party gets it, Mario Wonder gets it. And if you want to play those games in 4K, you have to buy this content.
Right.
And I think that is the worst part about them, is that Mario Odyssey is 4K for free if you own that game. Mario Wonder, sorry, you have to pay $20 to get these mini games you might not want to play the base game you already own in 4K. I just think that's super crappy, honestly. And I've complained about it for a year. I'm going to keep doing it until they stop, because I think it's just a really disappointing direction.
No, I agree with you 100%. And I do, but I mean, they're kind of running out. They're going to run out of games eventually. So that's the good thing. And then we'll get new games. And then when we have the Switch 4, we'll get them all with a new 3D
Nintendo Switch 3 edition.
Virtual reality update to Bayonetta 2.
Speaking of virtual reality, I played the Virtual Boy, the first ever VR console from 1996. This is coming to Switch and Switch 2. We also got an overview trailer for this, which revealed the launch lineup and 2 previously unreleased games that are coming to Switch Online. That's a new F-Zero game called Zero Racers. It was going to be a spin-off for the Virtual Boy, and then D-Hopper, which is this top-down platformer where you're jumping up through levels as this frog, and I'm sure it's going to play with the 3D in some fun ways. Seth, this thing was awesome. This was so cool.
I'm so happy to hear that.
I saw the cardboard version, which is $25, and it was behind glass. I didn't get to play that. Whatever. That's a cheaper option. It's there if you want it. But I played with the replica headset, which is $100. It's coming out on February 17th. And like, if you just glanced at this, you'd be forgiven for just thinking it was a Virtual Boy and not this empty shell that you slid a Switch into. Because from a distance, it just looks like a Virtual Boy. Super high quality. It has that like stand with the 2 legs on it.
Yeah.
And it's got the cranks so you can adjust the viewing angle, the red and black lenses. I've never played Virtual Boy before, so I can't really compare it to the original experience. But I thought it was really just fascinating and wacky. And Nintendo is insane for making this 30 years ago. They're insane for putting it out again 30 years later. And I'm not sure which they're more nuts for, but it's super happy they did it. I just thought it was a blast.
Yeah, I mean, this is the stuff that Nintendo does that makes me love them so much. This is their worst performing console ever. Like 400,000, 700,000 total units worldwide. It came and went. It's not great. I mean, nobody is fondly remembering their Virtual Boy, and yet they made this thing that I'm super excited about, that I immediately pre-ordered the day that it went up, to play. Like, you can't play these games otherwise. I mean, you could find a Virtual Boy out there probably for sale somewhere, but like, that's kind of sucky. I will say the one big thing that I'm bummed out about is that you can't play these games without the headset, either the real one or the cardboard one, and that seems like such a miss. And I hope that's something that they patch going forward, because it is a bummer that you can't enjoy these without at least spending an extra $25. But this is what I love. It's so stupid. Everyone who's bought this, who's pre-ordered it, is like, I don't know why I did this, but I did it anyway. Yeah. And it's so weird and cool and fun. And this is the stuff that I just love about Nintendo, is that they'll just do this. Like, there it is. Virtual. Oh, that wasn't Nestor's Funky Bowling. Excuse me.
Yeah, that was there were 2 bowling games on Virtual Boy. There's only 22 games and 2 of them were bowling.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Strange.
Yeah. Here's Zero Racers, the F-Zero spinoff, unreleased, that is coming, and I'm very excited about. And then here's the D-Hopper one we're seeing on screen.
Okay.
Which
this looks like
really good too.
Yeah, and then there's Mansion of Innsbruck. That was one that never came to the West, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. So you could change colors later.
Why?
On Virtual Boy. I don't know. Why would you change it from the red? The red is iconic.
I know.
But yeah, I played Wario Land, which I've always heard is like a really actually good game. Not good for a Virtual Boy game, but a good game.
Good game, yeah.
And it is.
Oh,
it's really cool. It's just like the Game Boy Wario Lands, and it's got this destructive, aggressive, fast-paced platforming with Wario where you shoulder slam into things, and then Virtual Boy is stereoscopic 3D, like your 3DS was. Like this is Nintendo's first 3D console, and it plays with that in really fun ways. Like, there's just these giant swinging balls on these pendulums that you have to avoid, and you use the depth to help judge where they are, and it works really great. And having not played Virtual Boy, it made me nostalgic for the 3DS with having that slider up and just seeing that depth to it.
Ugh.
And then Wario Land also has you like jump back into the background or the foreground. And so you're way back there in this 3D space, or right up on your eyes in this 3D space, like Kirby Triple Deluxe or Mutant Mudds or Donkey Kong Country Returns does. Like, it's just, we're seeing that now. It's just a really good platformer that's never been re-released. And now it's coming if you subscribe to the more expensive tier of Nintendo Switch Online and spend an additional $25 or $100. You can play this one Wario game. So it's stupid, it's silly, it's superfluous, but I think it's just so exciting.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, the talk is, has this accessory outsold the original run of the Virtual Boy? And for a week or two, it was sold out. It was unavailable to pre-order from Nintendo. It came back.
It's back now, right?
Yeah, it's back now. You can get it now again. But I mean, yeah, I would say that this is doing better than they anticipated for them to have sold out of the Virtual Boy accessory that, again, only works, or is the only way to play these games for now. So I'm so excited. Yeah. It's so stupid. What an idiot I am for getting into this. God.
I know. I can't wait. We'll have them like 2 weeks. I can't wait to show them off on the show. Yeah, it's going to be great. I also saw a bunch of physical goodies that Nintendo's releasing over the next few months. I saw the Talking Flower toy, which is out on March 12th.
Oh, yeah.
I saw the 3 new Mario Wonder amiibo, Elephant Mario, and then there's a Poplin with Prince Florian, and there's Captain Toad with a talking flower. And I saw the new Joy-Con, which... yeah, they're so boring. The new Switch 2 Joy-Con with the mint and the purple rails. But yeah, saw a lot of that stuff. Talking Flower is cute. I think, like, if you have a little kid, that's a really cute toy to get for them, because it kind of just talks on its own sometimes.
Yeah.
And then you'll press it and it says these different things, and it's like, oh, did you get all your homework done? And just really cute things to have on like a kid's desk in their room or something. I thought it was really nice.
The biggest surprise. What was that?
Oh, I was gonna say that you can also, it'll talk automatically, but I just wanted to say you can make it shut up like at night so it doesn't talk when you're asleep. There's gonna be settings underneath that you can tweak to make it not talk twice per hour like it does during the day.
Yeah, I wouldn't like that. I was gonna say the most surprising thing to me about the Talking Flower, $39.99. That's what it costs to get a Mario Galaxy amiibo, actually. So very surprised. I'm not gonna get one. Maybe. Probably.
No, I don't think that I'm gonna get it. No. I think that Nintendo noticed that the amiibo did not sell as well with their higher price points. The Mario Wonder amiibo are $24.99, which is cheaper than we've seen for the Metroid amiibo or for the Galaxy amiibo, or for the Kirby amiibo, which are much bigger and have the two parts. But I think they're course correcting a little bit on the amiibo prices.
Yeah, I will say the Galaxy amiibo have actually dropped to $34.99 from $39.99. So, and that's not even like a discount. That's just the price that retailers have them at now. So,
yeah. So yeah, it was good. That was Nintendo's spring lineup. Excited about tennis, less excited about Mario Wonder, and extraordinarily excited about the Virtual Boy.
Who
we have about
would have thought that those words would have escaped anyone's lips? Never.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they somehow did it. Yeah. But we have about 10 minutes left. I want to talk about Tomodachi Life for a little bit. But first, I want to tell you that you can gear up for zombie horror in Resident Evil Village, get wonderfully weird with Date Everything, or keep the good times rolling with Bus Simulator 21. You can head on over to Humble, where right now you can get Humble Choice for just $14.99 and score a curated bundle of PC games. Available now through March 3rd, this month's choice includes Resident Evil Village, Date Everything, Core Keeper, Star Vaders, SteamWorld Build, Squirrel with a Gun, Bus Simulator 21, and Big Helmet Heroes. Plus, this month's choice supports N-Power, a charity with a mission to move people from poverty through tech skills training and quality job placement. Head to humblebundle.com to start playing today and support a good cause. Okay, Seth, the Nintendo Direct Partner Showcase wasn't the only Direct we've gotten in the last couple of weeks, because Tomodachi Life Living the Dream got a Direct a couple of weeks ago. This is out on Switch 1 on April 16th. No word on Switch 2 enhancements or anything, but of course it will.
Oh, they're going to have Tomodachi Life Living the Dream plus Baby Bell Park.
Plus Bell Park, yeah. Yeah, but just a Switch 1 game right now. And Seth, I thought this was a really, really great presentation.
I am so excited for this game. It's got everything charming and wonderful about the 3DS game in a bigger form factor with better graphics and more to do. Like it's like Animal Crossing. You're building your own island and putting, buildings on it, but you have all the weird Tomodachi Life stuff, like you're falling in love with a juggalo and on a ski lift and things, making your Miis. And so I am so very excited for this game. When this was first announced, I booted up my original copy and instantly I was like, oh my God, that's right. This game is so weird and fun. And it's another case of Nintendo just being weird, and they do weird so perfectly because it's genuine and it's effortless, and that is what you want out of weirdness. And I cannot wait. And I can't, not only can I not wait to just play this, I can't wait to for us to all talk about it on the show. Yes. And maybe people can write in with their weird Tomodachi Life stories. But the stuff that happens in these games is so absurd that just talking about them is hilarious in and of itself, just because of what happens. On 3DS, my wife ran away with a character named Weenie Macadoviak, and they got married, and I was sad about it. And that's just one of the millions of weird things that happens in this game.
Yeah, and they did such a good job of showing what you're talking about in this Direct, because I think this is one of my favorite game-specific Directs they've ever done, just because of how they handled the storytelling of it, where they are telling you all the features of this game. Here's how you make your Miis, here's where they live, here's what you customize, here's the shops, and all these different things. But then they're telling this love story of, I think, Angie, I don't remember what her name was, but they're telling this love story of these Miis, and she falls in love and she admits it and she gets rejected. And then she falls in love with the clown named Hugh Morris.
Yeah.
And then she declares her love for him on this Ferris wheel. But then 3 other people in the town love Hugh also, and Hugh makes his choice. And at one point she's crying on the beach over her first heartbreak, and Hugh Morris goes up to her, and the way he comforts her in the hilarious text-to-speech me voices they have in this game says, "Why can't I ever get my hoodie strings even?" And she's like, "Thanks, I feel better now." And I'm just like, what is happening right now? It's perfect. It's just hilarious. And I think they sold what makes this game different and why it's different than something like Animal Crossing, and that it is its own thing. It is this observational me simulation where you have to put the ingredients in and then you see the reactions that come out of it. And I thought they showed that really well.
Yeah. It was, like you said, it was a great single game Direct that just kind of, I wouldn't say answered any questions that I had, but definitely got me really excited to see what the big differences are between this and the 3DS. Because as fun and as weird as the 3DS one, it is kind of limited. Like, you don't do island building. Like, something will open up if if two Miis who live on the top floor get married and have a baby, it'll open up an umbrella stand or something. I don't really remember, but this one is just like more of that. And so that's what got me more excited about it, is you have all these weird things. And, it's like a city building sim, kind of, a little bit now.
Yeah, way more in depth with the city building stuff.
Yeah.
Like, people were just, they showed all the different types of islands you can make. You can make your island just look like a Mii face. So they're all just walking around on this giant Mii face, like super flexible and dynamic. Definitely inspired by all the customization stuff in a New Horizons, like the patterns and decorating outside and all that stuff. This is going to be a huge hit. Like, this has millions of views on the Japanese version, millions of views North America. It's going to be big.
I think between this and Pokopia, like, it's going to be a very successful spring for Nintendo for sort of stuff that maybe you weren't expecting. Like, I think kids are going to lose their minds for this game, because it is so funny and silly. Like, that's what my kids were young when the first one came out, and that's what part of the enjoyment from playing it was that, like, their reactions to everything. And it's like Brian talked about, his daughter, who's like, I think 6 or 7, like, just losing her mind over crazy stuff. And then you've got Pokopia coming out, which is also going to be kind of weird and strange and off the wall. So, like, yeah, Nintendo, just do this. Don't give us any more $20 4K upgrades with extra content. Just make weird stuff. Like, this has got to be, relatively speaking, and I don't want to say that, like, making video games, but compared to, like, a ground up Legend of Zelda game, like, this is probably a much lighter lift, and it what do they call it? Emergent gameplay, where it makes its sort of own stories. And, like, just look at how stupid this is. Monster trucks. Yeah. I love it.
Really stupid. And a big part of this direct is that Nintendo made good on a promise from 12 years ago to make the next Tomodachi Life entry more inclusive with gender and dating preferences in this game. You can pick male, female, or non-binary for all your Miis, and then you can do the same for what type of Miis that Mii likes to date. And a lot of people got very mad about this, predictably, online, and saying Nintendo's gone woke and it's the new leadership and all that. No, this is from a quote from 12 years ago when Tomodachi Life came out on 3DS. There was a ton of backlash, specifically in Japan, over this decision, and Nintendo had to put out a statement that it got so heated at the time, and they said, "We apologize for disappointing many people by failing to include same-sex relationships in Tomodachi Life. Unfortunately, it is not possible for us to change this game's design, and such a significant development patch can't be accomplished with a post-ship patch. At Nintendo, dedication has always meant going beyond the games to promote a sense of community and to share a spirit of fun and joy. We're committed to advancing our longtime company values of fun and entertainment for everyone. We pledge that if we create a next installment in the Tomodachi series, we will strive to design a gameplay experience from the ground up that is more inclusive and better represents all players." So yeah, that was from 12 years ago. It took 12 years to get a sequel to this game, and they're making good on that. So everyone blaming the new president of Nintendo of America, Devin Pritchard, for doing that. Like, come on, guys. Like, I don't think that's people listening to our show, but that is out there, and it's just not true.
That just tells me the woke mind virus has figured out time travel. That's what's really going
on. Okay, sure. Yeah, but cool to see that. I think that's great, and people were very excited about that addition to this game. And then I think on the negative side, this is the only hang up I have with Living the Dream, is that some bummer news came out after the Direct, which is that Nintendo is restricting image sharing from this game.
So close.
Yeah, so close. You can't upload screenshots straight to social media from the Switch. You can't send them to your Nintendo app on your phone to download them. Like, the only way to get screenshots of this game off your device is to directly plug in your Switch to your PC or your SD card to your PC and rip them off that way. And there's a long statement here I won't read. Basically, they said that out of context scenes may be misunderstood or may not reflect the spirit in which the game is intended to be enjoyed. So if you put in like a politician and you make them say some really terrible stuff and then you post that online, Nintendo doesn't want their Mii's representing that, which I get, but people are going to do it anyways.
Right.
And it's just like, this game is about that social sharing and communication, like you said, telling the stories of what happened in your game, and they're just making it harder to do that.
Yeah, whatever. It's the old monkey paw strikes again. But
yep, Yeah, that's a classic Nintendo move. And then also, there's going to be no online features, which means as of now, it doesn't seem there's going to be a way that I can make a me of myself and share that with Seth, so I can move in to Seth's island, which is a shame because I wanted to do that. And like, I'm terrible at making me's, and there's going to be ways to like describe what you want the me to look like in this one. But like, how am I supposed to get like Barack Obama and all these people on my Switch that were on my Wii and my 3DS like 15 years ago? Like, I don't have the ability to make them myself that well.
No, like half the people on my 3DS ones are like friends of mine that, you know, I had their me's. So it's a bummer. But again, something that maybe they can figure it out with an update for $20.
Yeah. So just like, it is so close, because to me, those are two critical features of why the first one is so good, is like sharing me's and sharing stories from it. And they had a chance to go the next step with this one, and they're backtracking a little bit, but I still think it's going to be really great. I don't know. I want everyone's me in here, and I can't make them myself.
I see. I'm a me master. I can make any me you want, and I'm very excited to make a lot of new me's. Let's bring me's back. Let's bring those funny, celebrity me's that everybody used to post on social media back in the day. Let's bring them back. I'm excited. Tomodachi Life, plug your Switch into your PC so you can download it from the file server. Yeah.
And make like a YouTube video description of how to design all these celebrities and characters and stuff. And that's going to be the way. It's like you're going to have to post instructions to make these me's, which is fine. Yeah, we'll figure it out. That's Tomodachi Life. That is out on Switch 1. No Switch 2 update as of now on April 16th. And Seth, I think that we will call it there. That is a live episode of Nintendo Voice Chat in the books. We're normally here on Friday with audio on your favorite podcast app and a video on Spotify or the IGN Games channel on YouTube. If you like the show, please tell a friend or leave us a review, rating, or nice comment. Wherever you're listening, it's the best way to support this show. Next week, Mario Tennis Fever will be here. We'll talk about the full game. Plus, it's a week delayed, but we'll talk about all the juicy quarterly financials we got from Nintendo this week, including first sales numbers for Metroid Prime 4, Pokemon Legends EA, and Nintendo acknowledging that Switch sales have been slightly weaker than expected outside of Japan, which is very interesting. A lot to talk about there. Thank you, Seth, so much for joining me. Anything that you want to plug?
I would like to suggest everyone follows IGN Deals on X, Blue Sky, Threads, Facebook, and Instagram, and TikTok, because that would help me out a lot.
Cool. I will shout out all those previews that I talked about today from the Nintendo event. Go check those out up on IGN.com. Thank you so much, Seth, for joining me. Thank you to everyone back in our Los Angeles studio for running everything this morning. That's Malk, Mariah, Jordan, Amir, Nick, and Dave. We got to sit at home in our offices. I think we're both wearing sweatpants, and they all had to drive in to work. So thank you so much for making that happen and making this show look and sound great. And thank you all so much for listening live with us this morning. We appreciate it so much. But for now, that is all the time I've got. I got to get back to watching the Seattle Seahawks beat the New England Patriots. Have a great week. We'll be back next time with more Nintendo Voice Chat, the only place you can
get the thing.